What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ELSA League Season 1 qualifiers. This is your first game for the night. I am Fire, and joined by me today is my co-caster, Give Bacon. How are you doing tonight?
Doing alright, we're doing good. This is going to be an exciting matchup. Good lineup that we have here. Quite excited to see these two games play off. These two teams play off against each other.
Yeah, they did really well in the starting in the group stages. Coming out from the picks and bans, pretty standard, especially for Clan Bacon. They don't really like to play against the Kunkka or the ELSA, so they do ban it out pretty early in the game. They have the Lich and the Phantom Lancer and the Rubik ban for Aesir. Not really seeing the Kotl or the Grimstroke as much as we thought we would, especially now in these later stages. Both of those heroes still pretty powerful, but it seems like the priority bans and picks are coming out as different heroes for this league.
Well, I think it's more of when you have a look at how the teams play out during the year and everything like that after patches, and you kind of have a new sense or a new feel for the heroes. And since Rubik has been picked up quite a lot in the past by many teams, by previous tournaments, I think it's more of we now know what he's capable of, so we'll rather ban him and then keep the Kotl in, and maybe we can play up against the Kotl instead of having to deal with something as difficult or something as dynamic or just
Flexible
as the Rubik is.
Yeah, definitely, but the Dark Willow is the first pickup. This is the hero that received only a slight buff in the Bramble Maze, but with the last patch, and it seems to have gained favor for the first picks, especially as a first pickup support. Sven, the other support pickup that's doing quite well. This is, of course, usually paired up quite well with the Luna as well, so Aesir sort of opting not to go for the very tanky support lineups just yet, but rather going for a bit more control sort of. But it does come down to, I mean, the Dark Willow has a good buff, and she has a good win rate right now, especially in the pubs as well, for just a small buff, just the amount that you can annoy in the beginning. So Lifesteal is one of the other bans that hasn't come out quite early yet. The other bans that we would expect is probably the Earth Spirit, although a very high tier hero to play. He's not really gaining any favor in this tournament, so I kind of want to see when or where the Lifestealer comes into play with this, as Undying gets picked up.
Well, they can definitely pick up the life. I wouldn't say picking up the Lifestealer here right now for Clan Bacon would be the perfect choice, considering that there's not really that many tank heroes, and I think that's why they picked up the Dark Willow maybe. On Aesir's side, the question really, or the reason for them actually picking it up is more of it's a hero that can do almost anything. Come to late game, she can stop a push for up to the tier 3, and that'll be a Grimstroke pickup from Clan Bacon, as you called it earlier, not being banned out. And the question is how much of a difference is the Grimstroke going to make versus the Dark Willow on the support sides, basically.
Yeah, usually Grimstroke's paired up with something that has very good control or very good so more than one, at least more than one way of stunning or controlling the team, which is more the Shadow Shaman and the Lion. Those are the two heroes that are naturally favored for this. And then it's only being picked up against this Sven, but this does mean that Grimstroke's not necessarily picked up just for his ultimate. He has a lot of good burst damage, and that silence is pretty annoying to deal with. So Grimstroke is a pesky hero, and he deals quite a lot of. He gives you the lane control and the lane presence that you need. Also, following up with the stun, you can have the Sven run in. If this is the dual lane, it's probably gonna be the Sven and Grimstroke, two very powerful heroes. One crowd control, and then you set up another stun with the Grimstroke, get a few last hits, get a few right clicks in, and you're doing pretty okay in terms of burst damage. And you can burst down something like a Dark Willow, probably not the Undying, which is the hero that'll probably go in the off lane that you're facing against if you're Sven and Grimstroke combo. So yeah, a bit team fight coming out for Clan Bacon, but I want to see more of what they want to bring.
Well, what they're definitely going to bring to the table is blocking people out. I mean, if the Undying's unable to throw the Tombstone, it's pretty much an easy game. And there's the Lifestealer ban from Clan Bacon, also the Chaos Knight that was banned from Clan Bacon. So no Lifestealer pickup here for any of the two teams, and obviously he wasn't going to be a first pickup because then you would just counter him.
There's not a lot that counters him now with the movement speed, so
it's not huge. No,
it's more or less. So the Viper was the other ban for Aesir. This could mean that mid lane contention could come down to the Monkey King again. Monkey King is not a hero that does the worst against Viper, but you know, he is one of the heroes that you're going up against the range, and if the control is there, it's pretty difficult. The Coddle ban is the other one for Aesir. Now, I'm not too sure about the Coddle ban because this could still be a support Sven, so kind of could have been using it on a different core hero like the Outwill Devourer even.
Well, I guess the Coddle's more of the blinding light. They don't pick up, if you pick up the Coddle here, so let's say they ran something else, and they picked up the Coddle in this third pick. The thing is, Clan Bacon would then obviously not pick a lot of heroes that would have to clump together, because they already have a range on the Grimstroke for initiation, and they, just on a swipe perspective, after that you can get obviously the Blink Dagger on the Sven and be able to stun heroes up. But I mean, if they can only get one hero out of from that, and then if they're not able to clump up, then Blinding Light's quite useless, your Will-O-Wisp is quite useless, because you need the heroes to be able to obviously be...
And you've already picked the Undying for yourself as the offlaner, so you don't really want to give them the option of getting the Darkseer, but the Winter Wyvern being picked up next. Another good hero for that exact same kind of more or less reason that the Will-O-Wisp is strong, is that Winter's Curse.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, it looks more like Ace is going to go for the lockdown, for the one hero lockdown sort of pick off, and trying to control the way the enemy Clan Bacon's obviously going to be moving once the team fight is actually going. Because as soon as you obviously Winter's Curse somebody, after that follows the Bramble Maze, they can't move around that much. At least 3 of the enemy heroes are stunned as well, and or rooted. And you're stuck in that position where you have to fight, and if there's a tombstone up, obviously the zombies are just going to spawn hectically. So it's a bit of a wombo combo that Ace is going up for here, and Clan Bacon is just looking to dominate with the Outwill Devourer, more going into a sense of just going full out damage, or just going a hell of a lot of burst, instead of having to. Yeah, we basically saying we don't want to take the team fight, we just want to dominate the lanes.
Yeah, both teams having very strong burst lane damage, very good control in the beginning as well, when if going for pickoffs and setting up for pickoffs. And then you've got the Outwill Devourer, like I said, the one that they probably should have been banning. And this is the big team fight hero, right? Both teams are opting to team fight. And Winter Wyvern is the one that's going to sort of control and dictate where most of the damage is going to. And then you've got the Grimstroke going to follow up with the damage, getting the link off on the 2 heroes, binding them up. They can't really run from the fight, and the Pugna was the obvious counter for the Outwill Devourer coming up now. So it's the mid lane should be going a bit more favored for the Pugna instead of the Outwill Devourer. But as soon as Outwill Devourer is up and getting his level 6 and getting the team fight off, and contributing to the team fights, right clicking, it's going to become difficult. Pugna's going to be the one, still life draining someone, or staying alive in some way, and you don't have a lot of control for him just yet, unless you, each of your heroes only has one sort of lockdown for him, and they have to focus different targets for lockdown. Otherwise, you can't throw everything against the Pugna.
Well, I take it more in the side of Aesir. It'll be the Undying that's going to have to pick up the Pipe of Insight or something, or it'll be first on Clan Bacon's side who picks up the Pipe of Insight, because Ace is going for a huge amount of magic damage at the moment, and I think their fallback is as well, if they lose the team fights, they still have the Pugna and the Undying and the the Winter Wyvern at least, to push down the towers, push out the lanes, and be able to sort out some sort of way there for them to be able to win. The thing is, it just takes a lot from them, because you've got a lot of mana intensive heroes with no Crystal Maiden or any sort of mana regen, so they're gonna
have one chance to throw it all, and then after
that you're basically stuck on nothing. Where Clan Bacon has an anti-mage that has a few abilities and he can stay in a fight. Sven himself as well, he throws down the stun, gives the allies obviously the armor, and you kind of can stay in the fight even after you're being pushed down with the Winter's Curse, and with even the tombstones being there.
But hold on a second, is this Clan Bacon holding out for the offlane last pick? Is this the Underlord? Is this Is this something weird that they're going to go with? Something tanky, the Bristleback, the Underlord, the Timbersaw? Something weird to help them, stall out the game, because they have the Anti-Mage now. So
well, there's always the Magnus. Even after the debuff, he still has his good ulti.
Yeah, that's true as well.
And obviously, if you get everybody into the reverse polarity, and then your Outworld Devourer obviously just throws his ult as well, that'll be massive counter initiation if Aesir does anything to initiate on that fight. I mean, the Magnus just stays in the background. You sacrifice the Sven or you sacrifice the Anti-Mage, but you take down the whole team for it.
And he's good at helping the Anti-Mage farm.
So that could be a good one as well. Yeah, especially with the empowerment. I mean, Sven,
and if you're Aesir,
to the Anti-Mage.
If you're Aesir, you already have the Pugna going mid lane, but you could still put the Pugna in a safe lane, and you run against something like a Storm Spirit just to lock down the Anti-Mage. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense putting the Pugna in the off lane, but if you're going with the early game push, this is what I wanted to come down to. Winter Wyvern, Pugna, Dark Willow, Undying. Going with the early game push. Having, swapping to something like a Storm Spirit is probably not too bad, but you need to finish the game in like 25 minutes, otherwise, 25 minutes to half an hour, otherwise this Anti-Mage there won't be anything you can do.
Yeah, he'll just ruffle stomp it, basically. The thing is with Aesir is they do have the lockdown, and that'll be the Elder Titan pickup.
So it is the Sven core.
So that would be... that's a huge difference, because the... What do you pick now on Aesir's side?
Nyx Assassin? No.
It's so they opt for absolutely, basically zero tankiness except on the Undying, but that's only when he throws up his ult.
And you need the pipe or the Crimson. He's going to be rushing the Crimson Guard now because of the Elder Titan, Anti-Mage, and Sven.
And
so that's Sven in the off lane,
pipe.
And it is going to be Anti-Mage in the safe lane. Elder Titan, a very good hero to stack camps as well. Let's keep that in mind. He will be looking to build that Battle Fury a lot, quite early. So getting those stacks off is going to help him a lot. Down in the bottom lane, you're looking at a Crimson Guard pretty early for the Undying. If he can get the Crimson Guard off and the Pugna can still go with the Decrypify, he's not going for the... He won't be going for the Dagon, right?
No.
So... Because
I don't think they're really going to go for that much burst.
Yeah,
it's
you can
more
get the
Grimstroke,
Grimstroke, but that's it. After that, you can't really get anyone else. So you have to go with the lockdown. You have to go with the cooldown and the range.
The question here is how much damage can the Clinks actually do once... I mean, he only starts being relevant at, once the Searing Arrows and Strafe is basically full. And he needs a bit of items there, so he'll probably be on probably be on the safe lane farming with the Will-O-Wisp, trying to get down a few kills if they can, but obviously trying to keep him safe so that he gets most of the damage off, as much damage off as he can. Undying and Pugna will then be taking the top lane. Will that be Winter?
No,
Pugna will be going
Pugna
mid,
will
and
be
then
mid,
Winter Wyvern. And the Undying will obviously take the top lane on the...
Well, I mean, if you're going with the Bramble Maze and the stun build, it could still make a lot of sense to go with the Undying Dark Willow, because he will just be stealing strength, and against an Anti-Mage and against the Anti-Mage Sven or Elder Titan, all of them, are good. That Undying is going to do a lot in the beginning of the game, actually.
Well, I think when you can get the Grimstroke down as well, I mean, he doesn't start off with a huge HP pool. So that should be nice to see as well. But we'll go here with Kobith is going to be on the Undying for the side of Aesir. That'll be Lady Anarchy on the Will-O-Wisp, California and on the Clinks, and then Vortex on the Winter Wyvern, and that'll leave obviously Captain Anarchy on the Pugna for the side of Aesir.
Yeah, we got Machin there on the Anti-Mage. Did really well with a lot of the Night Stalkers until some of the people even banned them out against him. Soul's going to be on the Elder Titan. They will see each other down bottom lane. You're going to throw down the Decay, and it's not going to do much. So they'll just back out. Top lane, we do see Panda and Minty along with Pat. They're going to contest this ruin, because the bottom ruin is also going to be contested by the Dire side here on Aesir.
Does it look like they're going to move up? Yes, they are moving up, and that'll be the Undying starting off with Elder Titan throwing down the spear. And that'll be just a few right clicks coming out. Not looking to do much, just basically clearing up the territory for now. I mean, there's 10 seconds left. Elder Titan looking to... obviously, Soul trying to see if he can get the Bounty Ruin on their side. It's only going to be Anarchy. It's going to be two Anarchies. Lady Anarchy and Captain Anarchy. The stopping him here. That it's going to be Will-O-Wisp getting him up. And Soul might be the first blood here. Yes, he will. No, he won't. Yes!
Okay, they do get him down, and that'll be
It
first
will
blood
fall.
and 2 bounty ruins that they weren't able to get. Minty will pick up the bounty ruin for the side of Team Bacon as well. So one bounty
both
ruin.
both of them still got a bounty rune each, but the first blood went to Minty on California, and that was a bit of the difference because the dice side got a support and you actually got a core. So yeah.
So we do have then obviously Soul going down. Obviously keeping Marcin at the moment at trying to see if he can get up the stacks. Obviously your Elder Titan is a bit more tanky than the rest of your support, so he's able to harass very good. And when you're going up against an Undying, it's a very good combo. I do like seeing this over here.
This is what I talked about, that Bramble Maze along with the decay stacks, it's pretty good. He can steal strength, and he's got the agility for agility hero, but stealing strength from the anti-mage still helps him, take a bit more damage, lose a bit of life, and then
they're still able to keep the anti-mage under control here. I think they win the rounds, but up until a point where anti-mage maybe gets a few points into his magic damage reduction, and we'll have a look and see how it fares from there. Roughly level 3, level 4. He will be more tanky by then. He will obviously have 1 or 2 Wraith Bands, maybe even a Bracer up, and he'll be able to farm comfortably in that lane if they don't keep on harassing him. But looking at the top now, obviously Minty taking a bit of damage there from Searing Arrows. There's going to be initiation here. Will-O-Wisp coming down. There's even going to be the Tombstone here. Souls might be able to go down here as he does get ripped, and his HP is very low. He's only standing on 250. He's going to get the stomp off. That'll be Machine getting back into it, and Lady Anarchy is taking a lot of damage there.
He's also taking way too much damage from that fight.
That's going to be a few more. No, they're just harassing each other up quite very well. The anti-mage is still very low HP there. Minty
actually got the kill on the top lane as well there. So they did manage to kill off this Clinks. So yeah, Clink's not looking too good. No, it was actually the kill the other way around.
I was about to say.
Yeah. So the Clinks got the kill on Minty, and gonna help his team out there.
With that, obviously. Just if we have a look in the mid, Captain Anarchy holding his own. If both of these guys, Pat's going to take a bit of damage here.
So the last hits and denies, when you're Pugna, you're never worried about it, right? Because you're always going to be behind, no matter what. Not really. I wouldn't say no matter what, but until your Nether Blast is at the level where you're farming an entire creep wave, you have to go 1-1-1 in each, and your idea is just to control the lane, and obviously if you can get the better farm, but you're gonna scale up. You are gonna catch up as soon as with the rest and on all of that. So you should be fine, even though you are a bit behind in terms of the laning stage. It's a bit more of the sacrificial lane, but you'll be catching up in no time.
Well, I think it comes down to as soon as he starts rotating, it'll depend on the level of Nether Blast that he has as well.
15-6 going into the last hits versus that 10-3. So the net worth definitely in the favor of the Outworld Devourer. Is getting some intel stacks. So a pretty passive sort of laning phase so far with only the 1 kill. The stun coming out now on top. The Inkswell's going to be there to follow up. No, a bit late though, but it will be there. It will connect now. The last hit is also there. Minty now dropping very low. Vortex is looking to get the kill, but looks like he will be able to back out. Stormhammer is almost off cooldown, and then you have another Stroke of Fate again. The stun, yes, the Stroke of Fate is there to slow up, and the stun is going to follow up. They do have the right clicks, looking to just slow them down, and Minty will have to back out. They don't get the kill onto Vortex as well.
But that's a huge amount of regen that they burned through there. Soul is actually going to harass Lady Anarchy over here, and Mastian is actually going to have to go back.
Well, Soul doesn't have any items for himself as well, but one thing I wanted to talk about the whole time is this natural order, which kind of helps you control the lane against the Undying. One of the heroes that has quite good base stats, so having that natural order just helps you sort of come back, not come back, just sustain the lane a lot better if you are the Undying. Now a lot of damage going out onto Panda. They will just pop this Warcry. The Inkswell going to come out now. There's no Stormhammer to follow up, but you're taking way too much damage there, California. And he will just back out.
That's going to be enough for California.
Sorry, I had to. This is not good.
Open mic is not working for voice chat for team.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So we'll just have a look and see. They just changed
That's
the
the device.
default.
All right. So we do apologize. The first game in game, you guys are probably not going to hear us. We will be looking to change that as soon as possible. So just bear with us.
All right. So what we missed was California was on quite low HP, and Grimstroke was able to get a huge amount of damage on him. But Grimstroke had to come down and get regen items because he's completely out and leaving Minty alone. But that's fine for Minty. He's just soaking up a bit of farm, taking a few last hits because obviously Searing Arrows don't do enough damage for him to worry. He's got 2 levels up in Warcry, so he's 100% fine to just take a bit of harassment, but still be able to keep the solo XP and take a few creeps if he can. And
but this for Minty in the off lane, Sven, this is something it's not very common. It was used a very long time ago, but it still
actually gets caught out here by Will-O-Wisp. He is going to be stunned up, and is it going to be enough from Kobe? Yes, there will be enough to take him down.
But again,
Machin is also taking a bit of damage there. Klinks also dies on the top lane.
So again, California dies. This is your core. Klinks dying, and then bottom lane, all they're getting is an Elder Titan the whole time. The whole time. They do have to spend so much as well. There is the Curse Crown, there's the Bramble Maze, there's the Undying Tombstone coming out, a few stacks on Decay as well. So, you know, they exchange very well, but at the end of the day, it's costing you a lot as well.
It's not. It is for the side of Bacon. I would have to say it is costing them a bit more because every single time you kill the Elder Titan, it's 150 plus gold that goes your way, and that 150 plus gold makes up for the regen items that you use or the mana items that you need to use to get him down. And if you just constantly get him down, the thing is he will never, or it'll be too late for him to get up the natural order to actually make a difference in the game. And that's the thing that you obviously don't want on the Elder Titan as well. So yes, he does die, and they do get California on the top lane, and it seems like the game might still stay even. But the question is, does it really? Because I mean, the Klinks dies, and if he gets Searing Arrows up and a few more other, just 1 or 2 big items, he can still become relevant. But how relevant is the Elder Titan still in the late game if after that all you have is his ulti and his 1 stun that you really want? And then if his ulti doesn't do a lot of damage, then there's no point in doing that either.
Yeah, well, sorry, I just want to abuse this pause. There we go. All right, so the guys in game, you can hear us now fine. So, first of all, it's going to come down to a bit later towards how the game is scaling. Again, the Outworld Devourer is already level 6. This is the 7-minute mark. You're looking at the cores should have quite a lot of farm on them, or at least enough to start team fighting, but I'm not seeing it for either one of these teams really just yet. It seems like Kobeef so Kobeef is the one that we mentioned. He has to go for the Crimson Guard, he has to go for the Pipe of Insight, he has to go for the defensive stuff. I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes for the Assault Cuirass a bit later in the game, because as we know, you're fighting against pretty tanky heroes, a lot of damage dealing heroes, physical damage with that as well. So you need to keep your Klinks alive, you need to keep your Winter Wyvern alive, and then most importantly probably you need to keep that Pugna alive if he's not able to keep himself alive. So this is where the cooldown reduction items, the range items is going to be, and the positioning is going to be Pugna's sort of make or break plays. And I'm really hoping to see how they transition as soon as the team fights start. As soon as the 10-minute mark hits or the 12-minute mark hits, the 12-minute mark being a bit more common now, just for that small item gain that you still have to do. But a few of the items are a bit more expensive as well, especially for us support players. We feel the pain, so you have to wait for the Winter's Curse probably. So when do you start prioritizing the support alts over the item farm as well?
Well, that'll be the easiest to say. That I mean, you prioritize the support salt as soon as they come online, practically. You most of the times want to use them to obviously bring out the utility, because then you're going to start wrapping around. That's when your supports start using smoke. That's when your supports start using dust. Start putting up more wards, especially because you want to see where they are when they rotate. Because the other thing I wanted to mention was you're probably only going to be able to see the rotation up on from Captain Anarchy in the mid lane as soon as he gets the Aether Lens. Because before the Aether Lens, don't get me wrong, he's good as a Pugna, obviously. He still does very well, but he still needs that bit of a range after when the team fights happen, or when the oh no, this is not exactly what we wanted moment happens, and he still wants to obviously be at the back of the fight and not in the middle of the fight having to cast his abilities. You know, your Elder Titan, obviously, as soon as the spirit comes back, he's a far away. He's happy to be in the middle, and
naturally he'll still be building into the defensive items. I can still, he has to still go for the 4 staffs, the Yule Scepter, the playmaking items, the positioning items, the pick-off items. So the Elder Titan is the hero that I wanted to mention. Where when the team fight starts, right? You actually mentioned in the drafting phase that the Magnus was a very good pickup, but how does the Elder Titan differ a lot from the Magnus, just in terms of that one stun play that they can make for your team?
The one stun play that they have is a lot like the Song of the Siren. It's a good initiation if you can catch 1 or 2 supports off guard, or at least a core and a support off guard, and you can obviously mitigate your damage in such a way that it's not AoE and you can obviously take down the rest of the team. Or it could be a diffuser where the oh no, this is not what we wanted moment happens, and you obviously just throw down a stomp. The entire enemy team is stumped up, and then obviously you can just walk away from there, because the sleep is just so much or so long that you can obviously decide what you want to do from there. So as having for not having a Magnus, I would have to say it's a very good pickup for on the Elder Titan.
So the difference, and another thing is that the setup with the combo is the stun. No one's allowed to touch them when they sleep, when they're sleeping, or with that stun, and then afterwards you get the path off with the Elder Titan, and then you have the burst damage. The 2 heroes or the 3 heroes are locked down in that they're a bit slow, and then you can just throw a Sanity's Eclipse and you're done.
Yeah, or you can obviously throw the army. The one thing that they're gonna deal with is obviously the skeletal army that's gonna come out. The one way that Aesir is gonna be able to counter that would be, as soon as they get off of the stun, as soon as the Earth Splitter has obviously been thrown, you have to throw out the Winter's Curse, and you have to catch one of the supports. If he chooses to throw it on the Elder Titan, that would be obviously a mistake from his side, because the Elder Titan already did what he was set out to do. So I would say his biggest target would be the Outworld Devourer or the Anti-Mage, and just have them burst one of those 2 down. And then obviously they still need to worry about the silence coming out from the Grimstroke as well. So maybe he never even gets off the Winter's Curse. Maybe that's how they control him. But after that, your Pugna still has the lockdown for the right clicks on the side of Anti-Mage, which you're then able to do, I guess, pack up a bit of damage before the rest of the damage comes back in. But you're gonna have to mitigate. You're gonna have to play a huge sort of cat and mouse game not to take that much damage. So the other thing I would have to say, Aesir is gonna have to rush a mechanism or some sort of defensive item before they can go anything offensive, or before they can even think of going offensive, because they do have a lot of magic damage on their side, but if they're not able to initiate or get it off, they obviously need to be able to come back from a back foot.
So another question is, we're used to Sven building these heavy critical strike damage dealing items, right? And he's already building into the Vladimir's offering. But this is the offlane Sven. This is the hero that builds the defensive items. It's his lane. So is he the one that's building into the Pipe of Insight, the mechanism, the Crimson Guard? So Crimson Guard naturally is a very good item now, because the whole patch from 7 changed to a very armor intensive team fight orientated meta. This is why the heroes like the Timber Saw and all of that was seeing a lot of play because of the way the armor was reworked, right? So, building Sven into the Crimson Guard means he doesn't do a lot of damage. He's not doing a lot at all, but your team is a bit more tankier just because of this Warcry, and he has a lot of potential to you know, he's still doing his cleave damage here and there against squishy heroes, which they have plenty of in Aesir. So, you know, Sven not building critical hit items is something different than what we're used to.
Well, at this stage, he doesn't really have to, because, like you mentioned, the Warcry.
And he was in the support lane mostly for this meta as well. We have to mention that he was support just because of Warcry, building utility items. Now he's in the off lane with the Warcry as a core, building.
You'll see he hasn't even built up into the cleave yet, so it's not about the amount of damage that they're going to be doing. It's the fact that his Warcry is a free Crimson Guard, essentially. So after that, the Elder Titan would the Elder Titan is obviously going to build up your mechanism, or maybe your Pipe of Insight, because that's what Elder Titans normally go for. However, obviously the item progression just has not been looking very good on the side of Bacon for the Elder Titan. So maybe he does build up one of the first utility items, which would obviously be your Pipe of Insight more than it would be the mechanism, because your GG Boots obviously goes onto the Elder Titan at the moment. It just the other question is,
does it really have to go on the Elder Titan? Okay,
it could go
obviously. So Sven's building the Crimson Guard, and then you can have the Elder Titan build into the Pipe of Insight, because your team still needs the Pipe of Insight against all of that magic damage.
Yes, they definitely do. But the question
then you
here
have
is,
to prioritize a lot of farm to the Elder Titan, which is not something you...
Is the Grimstroke then going to pick up a Hex or a Yule Scepter, or is that... Because he's going to be utility. So let's have a look and see. He throws out his ult, gets down 2 cores, Yules them up into the air, and they're basically out while you kill the other 3 off. And then once they come back down, obviously you have a hell of a lot of stuns and follow-ups just to be able to kill them. Maybe that happens. Or does he just go the plain level 1 Dagon before 15 minutes, before 20 minutes, and just basically be able to harass 2 heroes from there?
That was the Grimstroke we knew, or we learned and loved as soon as when he started coming out, when he had a lot more burst damage on him as well. So I highly doubt that they will go for that. I think it's going to come down more to exactly what this Elder Titan will be building, right? So Elder Titan, yeah, you have to build Guardian's Greaves and Pipe. It's difficult. I don't understand it fully. There's going to be the Stomp coming out. The Sanity's Eclipse going to come down. The Bramble Maze is going to be there. And they will be able to back away. No, the Undying actually escapes here.
He'll be alive on 32 HP as he gets out there. And that was a huge teleport there from Pat. If they were able to get that off, that was obviously going to be where he dies. And he even...
they even used the Sanity's Eclipse. This is both of them.
But both of them have to go back, so that's going to be easy for Anti-Mage. And it might even be the... well, there's no farm going in the way of Elder Titan at the moment, so he still needs to build up a few items. But at least your aim's gonna have the Battle Fury in 15 minutes.
Silence on his Clinks now. There is gonna be the Inkswell to follow up. California doesn't slow him down. There's no Stormhammer.
He uses this wand, and he's just able to get behind the tower for defense, or behind the creeps in front of the tower, and they're not going to be able to chase him down over there. And they're going to use a regen.
This is another big issue with the Sven, right? If you don't have the mana for the Stormhammer, because you've been using your Warcry too defensively, because this Clinks is just hammering these arrows into you, it makes it a lot different as well. It makes it a lot more difficult.
It does, because you obviously can't get the chase down, and because everyone except the Undying is range, you're gonna have to have a chase. But that's why he's building up the Blink Dagger after the. He has the Blink Dagger lined up, so eventually he'll have that. And then there's practically no more escape unless they keep that Blink Dagger down, which is going to have to take a lot of prioritizing from them. I mean, they're going to have to prioritize one auto attack just to keep the Blink Dagger down if they are able to. So it looks more like Aesir is going to have to be the ones to get the initiation here on every single team fight if they want to win.
So the biggest thing was that we mentioned was that rotation right now. The Inkswell's going to come out. The Stormhammer is going to be there, but they don't know where he is. You need to start building sentries, Grimstroke. Start buying those same sentries. You need a lot of regen. So the Pugna actually catches up a lot on the farm, right? It's 50 and 12 versus the amount that the Pugna gained in the mid lane, putting him pretty much up there. They're going for the deny, and Outward Devourer will get the deny on that mid tower.
And that'll be a bit of, obviously, a letdown for the sire, for Captain Anarchy, as he still has to have...
He still doesn't have lane control.
He doesn't have Aether Lens. He needs to TP in. I mean, there's been a rotation from Pat, and he was able to at least give the anti-mage a bit of farm, if anything else.
There's going to be the stun coming up. The Curse Crown's going to be there. The Tombstone.
That's going to be a down Elder Titan. Soul will obviously take the punishment for that.
So anti-mage still has to farm, right? He still has to farm a lot, and this was all the 10-minute ruin contention. It was going in the favor. Both teams actually pick up 2, so he's still pretty far. No, wait. The Radiant side actually pick up 3.
Machin's still not far off. I mean, it's still anywhere from 13 to 15 minutes, I guess, that he gets it. It gets delayed a bit more because Soul's not there to back him up. They are going to initiate
taking a lot of damage. The Bramble Maze is going to come out. The stun is going to be there. They are going to try and do a lot of damage to this Undying. Now the Curse Crown's going out onto the Anti-Mage. He will just TP out. Pat taking a lot of damage there from that urn. Pugna actually moving in now. They're looking to get this the courier, but won't be able to. So
and they're still going in for this.
Decrepify being used, the blast, and then after that the life drain, and that will be enough. The Pugna will get the kill onto Soul.
And that's, once again, Soul just dying so much. Is it Soul's positioning that's killing him so much, or is it just
Silence
the fact
coming
that
out onto the Winter Wyvern? The Inkswell is going to be enough just to kill him. They're looking to get the banishment onto the Clinks now. Do they have the detection? They do have the dust, but the Sanity's Eclipse is going to be enough, and Pat picks up a kill on California. So rotating to top actually paid out a lot for this Outward Devourer, but this Pugna is still pushing this bottom tier tower.
And he does a lot of damage with that Nether Blast as well.
Moving the Grimstroke.
Once again, going back to it. Well, Kobe's going to take a bit of damage from that.
Stroke of Fate was there.
Inkswell. As soon as he throws Inkswell, they're going to initiate.
Well, I think they want to get the Soulbind there. Yeah. So okay. So the Silence is out there. The Bramble Maze comes out defensively, but this Pugna has to run away now. Curse Crown going to be used. The Undying pops the Tombstone as well again. Anti-Mage taking a lot of damage now. He is decrepified up, and he will be bursted down. That's way too much damage going out onto him. The Bedlam actually doing so much as the decrepify is there.
Yeah, and obviously the drain from Captain Anarchy on the Pugna. That's even for an anti-mage, that's a lot of magic damage. You can't mitigate it. You just can't. I mean,
so you have 4 heroes down in the mid lane for the Dire, pushing this, just pushing the tower. Now you've got a lot of control for yourself. So you've got this whole area to play with, that they have to start warding up again and start playing defensively with. You need to. Sven still needs a lot of items. He hasn't even finished the Vladimir's offering yet. He is looking to get the Clinks, as Clinks is just out of range of this tower.
Yo, but they do see him. Minty does spot him out. Machine going to be coming in here, but they don't have any detection. No dust or any sentries whatsoever. Smoke being bought on the Winter Wyvern as well from the side of Aesir.
They want to get pickoffs. They have to start pressuring the top tower now, because then you have so much control. And you kind of, the stun coming out now onto the Undying. You will have to pop the ult. The Tombstone's also still there, but he will be
Minty doesn't have mana for walk, right?
There's a stun as well. Tombstone is there. The ulti is going to be used, and they will just kill off this Tombstone.
And that'll be all that was needed for him. But that was practically 2 ults that was used just to kill off one Undying. And is it really worth it for one Undying to be able to go through all of that? I mean, now
you have to pressure the tower, but you're facing off against the 3 heroes that are defensively here. The stun's going to come out. It is going to connect onto this Winter Wyvern. They can't follow up. The Stormbolt's not there. The Anti-Mage moving to the Bramble Maze is there as well.
So California and Vortex was hit by the Earth Splitter.
Earth Splitter connecting onto 2. Burning Army as well. Now they have to move out. The Winter's Curse is there, but it's not going to do anything else other than set up another Bedlam. It's going to be used. Curse Crown. They're doing a lot of damage to the Sven. He doesn't have enough mana for the Warcry, and he will just fall down.
Pat does a right click, but now they're going to send it back to base.
So
Captain Anarchy. Oh, they do get
Soulbind is there as well. The Klink's taking way too much damage now. This Anti-Mage is dropping low. He can't do anything. Undying dropping low as well, but they will be able to get the kill onto Pat as well. So Panda now, the last one left for his team. He did, however, pick up one kill, but the life drain.
He tried to do a stroke of fate, but he wasn't able to get the stroke of fate just off on the rest of the guys because they were so low.
And
if he was able to get off another stroke of fate, but obviously the cooldown didn't allow him to get it off. And maybe they could have turned a bit more into their favor because, I mean, one hero down for the rest of them. And that's going to be... Menti's going to have a huge stun, but he wasn't able to get California. Once again, California just being on so little HP, but he's able to escape on those. And California hasn't leveled his ult yet, has he? On the Klinks.
He did use it in that fight, yeah. Okay. So the biggest thing there was just to move them back because they sort of wanted this tower. And forcing them to move back is exactly what they needed. So it's not the best fight if you're Clan Bacon, but you still have the Anti-Mage. So it's not like you're never out of this game. You're never going to be down and out or just, you know, throwing in the towel just yet. The early game push needed to come out from Aesir. Aesir knows that they need to get that early game push. That's why they picked up the Puck. Now they have the Winter Wyvern. They have the Dark Willow for, pushing towers, and that's why they were able to take the 2 tier 1 towers so quickly. But now it seems like they keep having to defend and then offend the tier 1 tower top, where I feel like they could be splitting up and prioritizing a bit more farm like we do see now. There is going to be the Stormbolt coming out now. Winter's Curse will not follow up though because the silence is there, and that is going to be a dead Winter Wyvern. The Klink's now moving in as well. And it is going to be the Earth Splitter coming out to try and collect some. The Elder Titan wants to get the stun off, and there's a big Stormhammer actually going on to the Undying. Has to use the ult, and now the Dark Willow had to use the Fear in order just to make sure the team can escape. The Terrorize was used there. The Klink's now taking a lot of damage. Elder Titan does not have the Spirit for the setup. There is a Stormbolt, however. The Inkswell, the Stroke of Fate will miss. There.
And that was essentially what we were talking about. I mean, that was a huge Curse Crown going to be used here. Lady Anarchy is still going to come back. Smithy, he does have mana for the Stormbolt.
There is
the stun does come out, but with Willow, obviously the Bramble Maze keeping him in check. Soul showing himself again. Soul's a bit far. Are they going to pick him off here? No.
Now he knows he's got the Spirit coming back. He connected to 3 heroes, so he'll be fine. He'll have to move back, but this is the tier 1 tower on that Radiant, that Dire safe lane for the side of Clan Bacon, and now you have a bit more room to work with in the Dire jungle.
You do have that, but the other thing is the amount of effort that they needed to expend just to get down 1 tier 1 tower.
The Stormbolt's going to come out. There's going to be the silent setup. Now the stun as well going into Elder Titan. That Winter's Curse is going to be there. It's going to connect onto the Sven. So you've got nothing to follow up with after this Undying. He doesn't have his ult though. The Tombstone will be down. The Decay was used as well. And that is going to be the Nether Blast actually going to be used onto the Elder Titan, making sure that he goes down. This Puck now is silenced up. Sorry, the Sven is dropping pretty low. That Klinks is doing a lot of damage. The Stroke Effect was there to slow them down. Hopefully they can try and escape. He had already popped the ult. The Stormbolt's going to be there to connect as well. The Bind was there. And now it is stunned up. The Sven taking a lot of damage now. They're going from the Anti-Mage now. But Anti-Mage going onto the Klinks. The Bedlam is used there. So he can turn. The one Burning Army is still doing a lot of damage onto him. He will try and blink, but he blinks to the Shrine. And the Sven is also there. So 1 for 3 trade going in the favor of Clan Bacon, and your Anti-Mage survives.
And he still gets a bit of farm up. He already obviously has his Battle Fury. That's why we see him back in the fights. And this is the part where the Anti-Mage starts getting dangerous. I mean, with just the 1 level up in his the shield, obviously, that he has in the counterspell, he has the magic resistance, and now he has the AoE damage just to be able to, obviously, he has the damage. And the amount of mana that he took from California just was not able to win that fight. If it was still a 1-on-1, obviously the Anti-Mage would have thrown his ult, and that would be a dead Klinks. And I feel the back from his side was obviously the best choice that he had to make, but he was forced to do it. The question is, how dangerous is the Anti-Mage going to be now once he has his Battle Fury online? He's got a bit of damage, and after what comes next is obviously your Manta Style, and as soon as he has that up, he's able to escape a lot of lockdown. Not only that, the Illusions does a lot of damage as well, so now you're going to have to prioritize a lot of that.
Is this a point where you start building into the Desolator on the Clinks and focusing maybe the Sven? It's going to be the Decrepify used. Life Drain going to follow up now as well, but the Anti-Mage will be able to blink out just in time. That Decrepify along with the Blast and then the Life Drain is so insane. Even on the Anti-Mage right now, they know that they have to start building the Pipe of Insight, but who's going to build it? And then on the other side, again, the stun is going to come out now. This is could be a dead Pugna. The Stormbolt was used there as well. And that's Captain Anarchy going to go down. Meantime, in the top lane, Pat actually going to take out Lady Anarchy, doing a lot of damage now. The Winter's Curse is going to be used onto this Grimstroke, but it is going to be the Winter's Wyvern to fall first. Looking to get the Stormbolt off is the Sven. He does get the Stormbolt off, and there was going to be a huge Earth Splitter, but it just doesn't connect on the Undying. Has to use the Decay. Uses the ult, pops the Tombstone as well. The Stomp is going to be there, and he will fall. It seems like every time he gets the combo off, it's just him there, so it's pretty much a waste. And you're giving away 200 gold for free the whole time.
Yeah, and the Kobe, obviously, he's not going to have his ult up for a while, and that's going to be a... That's going to be a deficit in the side where, I mean, you're looking now to push the tier 2 on the top lane. You can even, tier 1 on the bottom has obviously fallen, so you can take down the tier 2. I feel like switching around to a tier 1 mid is not even necessary. I'd focus down these tier 2s as it looks like what they are going to be trying to do on the side of Clan Bacon. They are pressure still on the top lane here. Question is, how much pressure can they put up on this tier 2? Will they be able to take it? Because, I mean, they are taking the team fights at the moment.
They will be right now because they're doing a lot of damage. This is why I said the priority for the Desolator is probably a lot better than, well, the Diffusal Blade as well. The Diffusal Blade makes sense. Just not as much on the Anti-Mage, but it does make sense to catch out the Scrimstroke, to catch out Pat. You want to make sure that they don't have mana when they're fighting. The Decrepify is going to look to land on someone. There's going to be the Nether Blast first. And they're just defending this tier 2 tower. Like they have to.
Well, I guess that's what they have to do, but
you're forcing them, right? That's what I'm saying. Like the Anti-Mage took down the mid-tier tower, and you're forcing them to defend a tier 2, and you don't even have your Anti-Mage there. Then again, they don't have their Clinks there, but your Anti-Mage is farming a lot better.
Benty going to come in. He does get the stun off on Captain Anarchy. Captain Anarchy is going to be stunned down. He is going to fall. Minty's going to prioritize the Tombstone while Soulbind, while he does get Winter's Curse up. Pat's going to be able to do a lot of damage here on Kobeef, but Kobeef just decides to guide Pat. Will he be able to TP out? And he is able to TP out of the team fight. Will-O-Wisp is going to take a lot of damage there, but it seems like Minty's going to take the most of the revenge side of Aesir as they obviously try to get something back. Panda's still in the jungle side, and he will be... Is he going to fall down? And Stroke of Fate, obviously not enough to get the kill on California, as he still tried to maybe get something off, but he does pay with his life. And they weren't able to do that much. I mean, they got Captain Anarchy on the initiation, but the Tombstone actually doing full work there. Minty had to focus the Tombstone so much, and then after that, the Winter's Curse was thrown down, and they weren't able to get the kill up on California or Willow when they had the chance. And I guess that's where that's where the damaging items that you spoke about earlier on the Sven plus his cleave, maybe now it should make a difference.
I think this is where you're sort of grateful for this Winter Wyvern, because as soon as your Undying started to look like he was gonna fall, he goes for he uses that Winter's Curse and locks down the two heroes that's attacking, and then after that uses the Cold Embrace on your Dark Willow, making sure she survives as well and actually gets healed up. This is when Pat's already used the cooldowns that they had. They already used the Elder Titan stun. The Earth Splitter was off of cooldown, not connecting onto anyone, and it was the big team fight of no cooldowns for the side of Clan Bacon. They probably should not have been pushing. Once they got the kill off on the Undying, they probably should have decided to just back out there. The Stormbolt's going to come out onto this Pugna now. Follow-up stunner with the Inkswell, and that is going to be decrepified up, but he will still fall. The Earth Splitter is going to try and connect. Doesn't connect onto anyone again, but the Winter's Curse is going to connect onto this Sven. They do take out the Tombstone down bottom, looking to get the kill onto the Clinks. He is dusted up, and they need a lot more. They need just a bit more lockdown. The stun's going to be there, but the Earth... They are going to be using the Astro Imprisonment, and that is going to be enough. A 4-kill streak actually ended, going in the favor of Pat, the other mid laner. Killing off your core Clinks. Dark Willow deciding to push a bit more on this top tower. So, yeah, Anti-Mage mid, you're still farming up as Anti-Mage. I mean, he's going into the Manta style. After that, you're looking to Roshan because you'll have you have a full Vladimir's offering up. You have that initiation that you need, so you just Roshan and go for the team fight.
He's got all of his abilities up, and all of his abilities are level 4. The counter spell that he has is such a huge thing. It's almost impossible to go at him as soon as he initiates. So as soon as he initiates, it tries to get off any sort of when on the side of Aesir. Obviously,
the Bramble Maze is going to come out first, but the Stormhammer is going to be there to follow up. The Burning Army is going to be used. This Soul is taking a lot of damage from this Burning Army. However, it's not enough to take him down, and the Dark Willow will fall. Winter Wyvern looking up to get the Winter's Curse, but team's just backing out. Stormbolt is going to be used onto Clinks.
And are they going to be able to get him? He is dusted up. No, dust is down, so they don't see him. However, that's just not enough.
They just saw him, but the stun, it's not going to connect. Damn.
That was close. That was close on the side of Soul to be able to kill him.
They just needed one more dust.
And the dust only now comes off of cooldown. Maybe if they had a sentry, or if another player had dust, they would have obviously been able to kill him there. But I guess they weren't expecting a California to
very good juking from Clinks. He does have that Dragon Lance up. We'll be building the BKB next, and then after that, looking to get a bit more damage on the strafe. So, but again, Anti-Mage is farming. Anti-Mage is farming a lot. There's a double sentry here just to make sure that you see that Clinks, and then top lane Panda will fall. It is the Decrypify along with the life drain.
There's hardly anything that can beat that once he's got that up on you. If you don't have a 4-star, or if you don't have any sort of...
However, you know that there's only 3 heroes down bottom now because you just killed one and the other one's up top. So, all right,
I'm going to force Bacon to go back.
But the tower did fall. Tower actually fell a while ago. So they're just pushing, trying to put pressure and making sure that the Anti-Mage has space to farm up. The next core item... I mean, again, this is where you go for Roshan, right? You go for Rosh now, get a bit early Rosh, and then start fighting. The Crimson Guard's almost up for the Sven. You don't have anything else other than the Yule Scepter. So the Elder Titan going for Yule Scepter 4-staff. He's not going for the Pipe of Insight. Not going for the Guardian's Greaves. So where's your anti-magic damage? Is it just going to be the anti-mage hitting everyone until they don't have mana anymore?
Lady Anarchy gonna spot out machine here. Are they gonna do anything here? You do see Captain Anarchy moving up. That's obviously that's Curse Crown gonna come down. Is he gonna blink out? No, he isn't. That's gonna be a lot of damage coming out.
Bedlam gonna be used, Rod of Atos, but he does blink out in time that the Rod of Atos doesn't connect. Had he held on a few split seconds to that Rod of Atos, it probably would have landed on him backing out. Undying actually going to pop the tombstone here. He might pay for his life as the Stormbolt is used. There is going to be the ult as well. Anti-Mage now forming up as following up. Undying had to pop the ultimate. The decay is there, but it is going to be the Winter's Curse, the big one there, and the Terrorize is going to be used up third. The Pugna is looking to get the life drain. The Rod of Atos is there, but he's not just out of range to life drain again. Anarchy is still dropping low. They are going to be able to get the kill onto the Winter Wyvern. The Undying is there, and now the last kill hit going to be on that Pugna, so it's going to be a full team wipe for 2 heroes going in the favor of Clan Bacon. 15k net worth 28 minutes into the game.
Yep, and that was a huge deficit for Aesir, obviously sitting there with having to fight without California at that stage. And when you have a look at it, it's not exactly the way. I mean, you didn't fight with the Burning Winter's Curse coming off. You even had the Winter's Curse, and it was brilliant because it was on Minty. It was on the Sven, but it's not enough damage to kill him because he was able to get the Warcry off before he even threw the Winter's Curse. So he was able to soak all that damage, and then from there they were just able to turn around. Obviously, Pat still went down for that, and Minty died as well, if I'm not mistaken. And
California was silenced up, so there was no Burning Army. You're fighting without the Burning Army. Stormhammer is going to come down. A lot of damage on this Clinks. He will just be able to invis out. And that's all Minty really wanted. He wanted that creep wave all to himself and the Clinks to back out, thinking that the rest of the team is going to follow up.
And that'll be a hex stick up on Pat as well, on the Outworld Devourer, so that's a hell of a lot more intel on him. We can have a look at the Sanity Eclipse next time, doing a lot more damage than it did in that one team fight. I mean, the previous team fight, it already was enough for them to equalize the amount of damage that Aesir already did onto Minty and Soul. So if you're the Undying at the moment, you obviously don't want to be caught up by that Sanity's Eclipse. So now, if the Undying is at the back of the fight, who tanks this?
Well, the Undying still has to build up. He's going for the Shiva's Guard, actually.
Which isn't a bad choice, because it still gives the intel.
So he has the Blade Mail for the right click of the Anti-Mage and the Outworld Devourer, but the rest of the team's still crowd controlling you down. There's going to be the Burning Army drop now. The Clinks is in the back line. They don't see him just yet. The Earth Splitter is going to connect onto 2. They are linked up, and they will drop very low, but this Sven trying to do all the damage he can. He can't really do anything against with that Tombstone out. No one's actually focusing the Tombstone. The Burning Army is focusing everyone, however, and the Ink Swell is going to come out. It will hit there. No one going down just yet. Okay, 2 heroes going down. Actually, the California did die there, and
it's going to be Machine being caught up by the Bramble Maze. 2 heroes being caught up by the Bramble Maze. They are forcing down the Tombstone. That'll be a blink out from Pat. Pat does throw the Sanity Eclipse, and he is able to get down the Undying over there. And the chase is going to continue from here.
5 heroes for 0?
Go in. No.
They will just push objective.
The real thing in that whole team fight is still the fact that the Winter's Curse is being used, but they're not able to get any kills on it. The amount of damage that they did to the hero there was literally almost nothing. That Winter's Curse almost counts for nothing. And not only that, while you're still burning down or trying to attack, right-click any of the heroes, the Earth Splitter was thrown there from Soul, and that was enough for them to obviously make a huge difference after the Soulbind was used.
Yeah. So the Anti-Mage also has the Basher, which now you can't really fight off. If he initiates and gets a bash off, the Clinks can't escape, because then you've got the Stormhammer follow-up. You got the Elder Titan stun follow-up. This is the stage where I mentioned that you should be ahead as Team Aesir. Not just in the net worth, which is at 23k advantage for Clan Bacon. You should have been ahead in objectives, and they're not. So they do know that this Roshan is going to come down, and a good team fight. You lost no one. You didn't even lose anyone, but you're still playing around cooldowns for the rest of this game now.
Well, they did lose the Undying when they played it, when they chased.
No, I mean, like Bacon didn't lose anyone in that fight.
Oh, Bacon didn't lose anybody in that fight, of course. The thing is, I think Aesir should have gone for a defensive item, like we said, with a Pipe of Insight. They do need the mechanism up. If they had a mechanism in that team fight, as soon as Sanity Eclipse falls and you're able to use the mechanism after that, you're not in as huge of a back foot as you are without it. Yeah. And I would have liked to see them build more into the defensive items. Obviously, it would have to have been on Kobe, or it would have to.
This
have
is
been
another
on
thing where
Anarchy.
I said, like, so the Undying actually opting to go for the Blade Mail seems to be a bit of a mistake. You still need to give your team the utility or the stability to fight actually in your team fight. The Winter's Curse is going to come out. It is going to connect onto the Sven again. The Bramble Maze to follow up. There is going to be an Earth Splitter connecting onto 2. This Undying and Pugna is dropping very low. The Yule Scepter will be used on both of them. The Winter Cold Embrace actually going to be used, and that is going to be a dead Grimstroke, soon to be a dead Eldar Titan. They can't really deal with this Burning Army. Minty actually dropping very low as well. They only have the tier 4 tower. Now, Anti-Mage, it was used on the... They do get the... sorry, the Aegis of the Immortal. And you get 4 heroes. The Undying going to fall very fast. The Decryptor are going to be used. The Life Drain now. The Nether Blast is there, but it is going to be a blink out.
And he is actually going to build up into the Butterfly
looking
next,
to go in again.
He can do a lot to hit.
He can do a lot of damage onto Vortex, right?
He still needs a bit more mana. I guess he needs the regen as soon as he builds up a heart or even a Ring of Tarask. It should be able to give him
going for the Butterfly
regen
now, so
that he needs. But obviously he's not going to go back in there for now. I didn't even see how Pat died in that team fight.
Yeah, Pat died fast. He did. It was the Undying. So he focused the Undying, and then after that, the Life Drain, the Pugna actually took out most of his life. And it sort of went downhill from there with the whole team fight. They did get a perfect Earth Splitter off. There was the the Soulbind from the Grimstroke, along with the Silence, actually used on both the Pugna and the Undying, but it seemed like it was too late. Undying already popped the Tombstone, and he already had the ulti off and the Blade Mail activated.
And then after that, once they were bound up from the Captain Anarchy was being used, and that actually saved him for a bit. He was used up from Soul, because Soul obviously used the Yule Scepter on the Undying, and that's what saved Pugna at that stage. And Pugna was then able to obviously turn back and then life drain on Pat and be able to kill off Pat.
That was a big thing as well, right? I mean, he used the Yule Scepter trying to think. So what he thought right there was he's trying to save the Sven, but the Sven was not able to do the last 2 hits onto the 2 of them, which probably would have killed at least the Pugna there. The Undying, not so much, but you know, you practically saved them with that Yule Scepter. So he's gonna need to work on the setup with the Yule Scepter, not using it while they are soulbound. But I guess this is just the one time Soul was like, okay, all right, I've learned this now. Not gonna make that mistake ever again. Gonna look for the soulbind. Gonna look for the setup of maybe just an Echo Stomp, Astral Spirit into an Echo Stomp after that, because they can't really run away from each other, right? That's what soulbind does. So the 2 heroes that are linked up together can't run in opposite directions. They just stand still because they keep pulling each other. And even if you're Sven with God's strength, you're not pulling anyone away from there. So anti-mage.
California going to be able to pick him up here. Kobeef could throw down the Tombstone. He's going to throw the Decay up. But Machine's still doing way too much, and that's going to be Decryptify and Life Drain up on Pat. Pat takes a hell of a lot of damage, but obviously the Earth Splitter has to come down. Earth Splitter is going to fall on as well, and that'll be Lady and Captain Anarchy going to go down to the Anti-Mage on his own sim, and that'll be Kobeef going to take a hell of a lot of damage here. And the Winter's Curse is going to be thrown there, but that's obviously just to get them out, because the wind didn't do much damage, and they're actually not going to be able to get out. Kobe still falls for that. California as well, as they were able to get, as Misty was able to get the stun off from California, and he wasn't able to get Invis out of that whole team fight. So that's 4 heroes down, and obviously a huge advantage for Side of Baking, because now they get to take the racks with no resistance.
You wanted to land that Winter's Curse onto the Eldar Titan, right? Because then Machine would have just taken out your Eldar Titan for free. But then you landed onto the Anti-Mage, and the Anti-Mage already has a Butterfly. So he dodged like three right clicks from a very strong Eldar Titan just because of those missed chances. And it gave him the ability to sort of... Not the ability, I mean, he just followed up again on the Undying, and...
I still have to say that I would guess the player of the game for that little team fight over there, Curse can't going to come out, Minty's going to get the stun off, but it's not going to work that much.
The Bedlam going to be used, the Inkswell as well, but they planned the Inkswell a bit better. But
no initiation there. Going back to the previous team fight, Machine actually keeping Pat alive, because he obviously got the control up on Captain Anarchy, and there's going to be a stun off here, and the silence is going to be on Captain Anarchy as well, but it's not going to be enough damage coming out from the side from the Sven. However, they do control him off a huge amount. Does have the Agnum Scepter up obviously, so they're able to just take a lot less of that. And Machine's going to kill the Undying off. Captain Anarchy is going to fall down to Mana Void as well. So that's 2 heroes, 3 of them down again. And I guess this is where you call GG. Bacon Soul obviously standing in the bottom lane after they took down the racks. And that's a full set of racks. So and GG is being called there from Captain Anarchy. And brilliant plays there. Like I said, the way Machine was able to just keep Captain Anarchy away from killing Pat. And Pat was just able to get off his Sanity's Eclipse. He literally just turned around Sanity Eclipse, and then he's like, peace, I'm out. And that's all they needed from him at that stage, because then obviously the Earth Splitter was enough to do damage there on that team fight. And once you go back from there, it's only 3 or 4 heroes that are usually in the fight. After that, when they had to defend the racks, and I'd say that was where it basically caused them the game.
So another thing I want to mention firstly was we mentioned that the Pipe of Insight needed to come out onto the Sven, and it didn't actually need it to come out on in that form. The extra armor came out in the God Strength for the side of Clan Bacon, the God Strength AoE with the Agnum Scepter. So very good plays from them. That was game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We will be bringing you game number 2 shortly. Stay tuned with us. This is the ELSA Cup, and we'll be back shortly. Just stay tuned.
I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing and keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. In immortality, I can see you and me free. In immortality, I can see you and me free. You left me crying and running through a ghost town, alone and stranded. Why leave me hoping and guessing for the answers? No place stays forbidden. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. In immortality, I can see you and me free. In immortality, I can see you and me free. My mind faded, my body wasted. What we created must have been fated. Just promise me immortality. I can see you and me. In immortality, I can see you and me.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to game number 2 here from the ELSA Season 1 qualifiers. This is Aesir versus Clan Bacon. Clan Bacon taking game number 1 in a very, very standard fashion. They did it with quite convincingly with that Anti-Mage and the Outworld Devourer, starting off quite fresh in the mid lane and progressing with the rest of their lineup from there. I am Fire, Nash joined by Give Bacon for today, and we'll be bringing you the rest of the game.
So looking at the drafts already, we're a bit behind, but we can have a look at. It's still not the anti-mage ban. There's still no bans from the previous games. From the previous game, really, it's more of the standard ban of we don't want to play against these heroes. So the Rubik being banned, the PL being banned, the obvious ban on the Juggernauts and the Lifestealer, and
Lich as well now.
Lich as well. Chaos Knight being banned up as well. Luna actually being picked up here on the side of Clan Bacon. They had the Sven for the previous round as well, and that was a huge advantage for them. Where once the Sven got online, they were able to. Minty was able to get a lot of proper good stuns off, and obviously they were able to follow them up with a few kills and everything from there. So they're still going to pick up They're still going to go with the Sven. Good safety pick. And then Grimstroke actually being picked up here on the side of Aesir, where it previously wasn't Clan Bacon. And that was...
So the setup was the Sven at the Grimstroke. Now going with the Luna. Luna giving you that plus 24 to your primary stat a bit later. And the first thing I wanted to mention is this Keeper of Light was not being banned out. And now you have the Grimstroke and a Pangolier. It seems like a bit of a Gambit sort of lineup that they are running, but the bans were a bit sort of defensive for the side of Aesir, not really wanting to go against the heavy team fight disruption or a bit of the late game. But as you mentioned, the Anti-Mage is still banned out, is still not banned out, and Clan Bacon sort of need the heavy carry, and it is going to come out in this Bloodseeker who's going to try and counter the Pangolier with it. The Pangolier with it, and I mean, the lineup they have now, it's good. Luna gives you the passive. Sven is there with the stun. But are you running tri-lane with the Bloodseeker? He can stand alone in a lane as well. But yeah, I mean, the combo is Sven Luna with the core, right? Because you got the double setup with the stun, and then he just comes in. He has the extra base stats. This was usually with the Phantom Assassin, or the Slock was the most common with it, because of that extra agility and how they benefit from the agility gain. And now you have the Bloodseeker.
Well, the Bloodseeker makes up for the silence that Grimstroke obviously has on the Stroke of Fate with his Blood Right. So there is that, which maybe they kind of have a standard of we need this much silence, we need this many stuns in order to have basically win the game.
Yeah, they have
because I feel control,
but I mean,
that was what I initially thought was going to be. Because now they have the Soulbind up on Grimstroke, obviously for the side of Aesir. And with the Pangolier being picked up there, the Pangolier has a lot more survivability versus the heroes that they had in the previous match. Obviously the Viper as well. So I would have to say that they definitely not looking for. They're not looking for the magic damage that they had previously.
They're doing a lot better in the team fight right now. This draft alone is doing a lot better just for the team fight potential, right?
Just for statistics' sake, yes. The fact that they'll be able to farm a lot easier as well is a bonus point. So we might be looking at a much closer matchup than it was in the previous game.
Ace's lineup seemed to favor more of a early game pick-off and a bit later sort of team fight lineups, and I think we're seeing this again here with the damage the Pangolier does in the beginning of the game, and if you're going with the Grimstroke, he can just sort of swashbuckle in just in time for the stun to hit on them, and then you have the Stroke of Fate, and then after that you're doing the Heart Piercer. So a very good combo from Team Aesir in terms of the laning phase, but that is again for the pickoffs.
Oh, and that'll be the Night Stalker pickup.
That'll be the Machine Night Stalker.
Was it going to be the Night Stalker pickup, or was it going to be the Abaddon pickup? Because when you have a look at it, Pangolier has a silence on his right click, and I thought maybe they'll answer it with the same sort of chancy silence sort of thing on the right click of an Abaddon. But obviously, the Night Stalker silence is just way better in the form of the cast, obviously, and his right click in when it's nighttime is obviously hugely relevant. He's able to escape, he's able to initiate, And when you fight under the cover of darkness, obviously you're not scared of anything. So
Well, you know, Machina's proven over just in the group stages that when he plays Night Stalker, he's not afraid of anything. So he does really. This is in any other situation, Night Stalker would be. It's an okay pick. It's a good pick with the Bloodseeker. It's a good pick with the Luna. Other than that, not really benefiting the team that much in terms of the pickoffs that the choices he has to pick off. He's going to have to go for the Grimstroke the whole time, and that is going to be Machine trying to do his best to do this. Now your bans are going to come out for mid lanes, right? Viper's not going to go in the mid lane unless that mid lane is something pretty squishy for him.
well,
Lion.
remembering the fact that they're going to have to get the Grimstroke at the back of the lineup, at the back of a Will-O-Wisp, at the back of a Pongolier ult, and
Night
obviously the
Stalker can do it.
Viper,
I mean, he has to be.
going
He
down
has
the
to be.
pool. Lion and the Monkey King being banned up here as the last two bans that we see from the teams.
So do we see the Kunkka? Is this where we see? Oh, Kunkka's banned out first. Never mind.
So we're not going to get the Kunkka, unfortunately. I would have to say they
Yeah.
need something that's going to be able. They already have the Night Stalker that outfarms or that can farm with the Pongolier. The thing for me at the moment is they have the Bloodseeker and they have the Night Stalker that can farm with Pongolier and Viper, and
Meepo,
that will
wow.
be. That is kind of a utility that they do need. I would have
It
to
was
say
good
that's
utility.
the last thing
it's
that
good
they need.
farm, but
As soon as he picks up the a few defensive items on the side of the Meepo, he's obviously so much harder to kill. And at the moment, Aesir has so much single target. They don't have a lot of AoE. So yes, they'll be able to focus down one Meepo, but it's going to take so much for them to focus down one Meepo that obviously Clan Bacon can just reverse off of that. But what does Aesir pick
have a
here?
look at Clan Bacon's lineup, right? You can send the Bloodseeker mid, and you can send the Luna mid. In very rare situations, you can send the Luna mid. Against the Viper, it's pretty okay. You're not going to go for the Lucent Beam build. You're going to go for the Aura stack and a bit of Cleave in order to make sure you can pull the wave, or you can pull the wave towards you under the tower and then clear the wave as well. So it's not perfect, but it does work. We have seen it work before. Night Stalker can also go mid. Night Stalker can go mid against the Viper, and the Meepo can go mid until level 3. After which, any of the heroes that I just mentioned can go mid and take his place when the Meepo starts farming. And I think that is sort of like a crucial key for Clan Bacon and how they want to move it, but it is the Morphling pickup, and that's going to be a
That'll be
big
the
thorn in your
Morphling
side,
going
getting
mid.
the Meepo.
Captain Anarchy obviously picking it up. So Captain Anarchy is going to go mid with the Morphling, and I was literally just sitting thinking, well, what if they send the Pongolier mid? Who goes up against the Pongolier? And I thought, well, the Bloodseeker and the Night Stalker obviously still goes up against it quite well. But now that they picked up the Morphling,
But
That's gonna be
Morphling will be triggering the
because
thirst
that's
a lot.
range. So you need to send the
Morphling-
Luna mid, I guess, because it's range on Anarchy.
No,
But
no,
do you send the
you-
Bloodseeker? Is Minty going to go mid?
like
Minty can't go mid.
No, you're still fine. You're still fine with the Bloodseeker mid, right?
I guess
he'll
because of the blood right, but
Yeah.
to be
Bloodseeker
fair,
goes
he,
mid.
as soon as he gets level 6, he's able to
Or
roam
Pat-
and obviously make a hell of a lot of kills.
Pat goes mid to level 3 and then switching up to with Minty. After
So-
that,
If it is the Meepo that goes mid, I guess he can still stand up against the Morphling on Captain Anarchy's
but I'm
side.
not thinking. I'm not. If no, not with the armor. Not with the beginning armor. It has to be the Bloodseeker in the mid lane, and the Meepo safe. And then after that, so you're gonna run a tri lane. This is what, and then after that, the Luna and the Sven actually get farm as cause. So transitioning one of them into a bit more powerful sort of cause, making sure that they can do what they need to do in team fights.
Make sure they
yeah.
get everything off that they need to, of course.
Yeah, that's exactly what they
And,
needed.
Well, and we'll have a look obviously on the side. So that'll be Vortex on the Keeper of the Light, Captain Anarchy on the Morphling, California on the Viper, Lady Anarchy on the Grimstroke, and obviously Kobeef on the Pongolier for the side of the Radiant, for the side of Aesir.
For Bacon, we do see Soul actually going to be playing that support Luna as mentioned. Minty going to go on the Bloodseeker. It is going to be Panda on the Sven, and Pat going on the mid Meepo as we mentioned earlier as well. And then naturally Machin is going to be here on his, probably at this point, a signature Night Stalker.
One of his favorites. I guess it's
Yeah.
more. He knows almost all the ins and outs of the hero. But let's talk more about the switch of the Sven from the carry to the support. Is he still going to be able to do as much as he did in the previous game?
So
I guess it's not. You don't want him there
it was-
because the Viper obviously is able to, with his skin and everything like that. Obviously, doing corrosive skin doing a lot of damage when you right click him on the Sven. So I guess it's not so much that you want to do it because the Sven's going to have a lot of attack slow. So putting him on a utility, but he only has the war cry and then he has the stun up. So you have movement speed, you have stun, and then from there, I guess he's kind of done his job.
The Chin has to back out. They're not going to be able to contest this. And then down bottom, there's 4 heroes. You're not going to contest that either. All right, so it is going to be a 2 for 2. And Pat going to be mid on the Meepo until level 3. Okay, so the Luna Sven coming along with the Bloodseeker in the hard lane. This gives them the advantage because they have to stay closer together and they're not too worried about the pulls. So very good to put the tri lane down bottom. And the Morphling activating your Thirst is kind of going to be annoying for the Radiant side to deal with. So California, the Nether Toxin's the bigger thing because it combos with the Kotl. Nether Toxin obviously increasing the magic resistance, or reducing the magic resistance that they have as long as they're standing in Nether Toxin, also doing a bit of damage over time. So pretty annoying for them.
Yeah, and they do kind of have a guarantee of it off of the Will-O-Wisp, so that's gonna be something that Clan Bacon will have to have a look at as soon as they take the team fights. And Morphling already in the lead. Well, not too much. He has one more deny on the side of on his
It's
side.
going to come down to the early game farm. It's going to come down to the early game farm of the Bloodseeker, and you're taking a lot of damage. So this is where the Viper is annoying in the lane. He's very annoying in the lane. Even as 3 heroes, he doesn't have his corrosive skin up just yet, but he will have it as soon as he has it up. He will be a lot more annoying because even your supports can't knock him down or bring him down a lot without taking extra damage for themselves, you know?
And he is able to clear up the waves here, so he's getting farm while being in a tri lane, and that's going to be damage coming out.
Stormbolt
Panda's
gonna
going to put the
come
stun
out.
bolt
They
up,
will be
and
looking-
Soul is Soul able to get the stun off? No, because Panda wasn't able to get the body block on him simply because of the blinding light from Vortex, which was a brilliant pickup there.
And actually opting to go for the blinding light first instead of the illuminate that we'll usually see in the combo. So
well, if you didn't have the blinding light, that was a body block, and that's a very good pickup. That's what you want to do as a support, obviously, is keep your carry alive. Well, it's going to be a hard lane for them in the bottom because I mean it's a try lane, and the machine's going to be able to get all the XP that he needs, I guess, to be able to have fast levels. Because as soon as he's level 6, he'll be coming bottom, and they'll be able to get kills here, I guess.
Well,
and that's
Kobe-
actually going to be Vortex and
so they're actually
switching with Kobe
they're switching
and
the
Anarchy.
lanes.
Yep, Kobe and Anarchy coming bottom, and Vortex.
There's
That'll be a
gonna
stun up
stun.
from Panda already. Silence coming in. Not going to be
Onto
able to
this-
do much.
Actually, onto the Sven. They need the level 2 on the Luna so that they can have the Lucent Beam in order to combo with. Otherwise, you're not doing enough. You're not getting enough damage done. You are forcing out defensive moves like the Swashbuckle. Lucent Beam now being picked up, but you're going to take a lot of damage from this. The Swashbuckle is going to be there as well. Orb of Venom. It's going to be the Stormbolt going to be used now. The Lucent Beam to follow up. You're taking a lot of damage here now as Kobe. If you have to run back, but there's not enough. Body block going to be coming out from the Grimstroke, actually blocking this pop of inside, and Lucent Beam just putting him on 5 life.
They are still able to see him because of the Bloodseeker, and that's going to be Panda trying to see if he can get the Stormbolt off. The rest of the Kobe and all the rest of the guys are going to come back, but it seems nope.
He was hoping
That
hoping Pangolier would actually to see if he can go into the jungle or
Maybe.
anything like that. I'm pretty sure that they wanted to send the Bloodseeker, but Bloodseeker has to farm up first. So the Lucent Beam going to come out. There is going to be a Stormhammer to follow up. As soon as they can see him, there is going to be the Warcry used as well, and that is going to be Soul drawing first blood onto Lady Anarchy.
Especially the fact that Grimstroke didn't have any mana there, so Lady Anarchy couldn't throw down a slow in the form of Stroke of Fate, obviously. So no Stroke of Fate, nothing. That was a perfect pickup, especially after she was left alone in the lane, obviously.
Meepo
kind of an easy
24 and
pickup
3.
there.
It's insane. It's insane considering what this hero can do so early in the game. Morphling having to balance his strength a lot more, will be going for his second Wraith Band, so Both of them doing pretty well in the mid lane. Pat coming out a bit on top just because he has that extra meepo farming the easy camps. Smaller camps near the Toxin. Machine is going to dodge it. He's played against this combo before.
And that's a flying piggy. And the thing here is California's getting a lot of farm up. It's just going to be a bit of harass here on the bottom lane.
They want to get a
from
pick off
Sol.
now before the 5-minute mark because the runes are coming out.
Stun's
in
coming out
7
on
seconds.
Bando. That'll be Stroke of Fate.
Inkswell.
Lady Anarchy doesn't have anything on cooldown except for Inkswell, so...
Inkswell was picked up next. Swashbuckle going to be used, and that is going to be Luna going for both. And it is mid lane. Actually, Captain Anarchy going to fall to Pat. So you get the 2 ruins, you give up 2 ruins, but you get the mid lane kill. And that is a mid lane kill going onto a Meepo. It's not who you want to give kills or to, especially this early in the game, especially in a solo lane. Morphling going to come back, and Luna actually moving in. Going to see if they can get another kill off.
So does have 2 points in the Lucent Beam. So the stun is definitely there.
There's 2 in the Earthbind. Does ping it out. He somehow saw Soul a bit. So the net's going to try and get out first. The first one will not manage to land. The proof is going to be there. The strength is going to be going out for this Morphling and Soul.
To get away. Are they going to come in and see if they can get... Nope, nobody's going to come in and see if they can get any pick-offs over there. So... Captain Anarchy able to stay alive there quite well, as his Spidey sense obviously kicks in just in time to be able to see that obviously the Luna wasn't in the bottom lane, Sol wasn't in the bottom lane, so they'd had to be a rotation either to top or bottom.
I think
Sol coming in for a rotation now, and Machine's doesn't have any mana, so they're not going to be able to do anything here really. It's more of he's going to make sure that Machine gets a bit more farm. Nope, he goes straight into the jungle.
He's going to start stacking camps. He has to stack the camps for Meepo now so that he can keep his advantage mid lane. The strength is going to be there. Another proof is going to be used. Now, Morphling's not doing a lot of damage to you, but he is gaining a lot of life. So, playing against the Morphling is pretty annoying, but if you're locking him out of his farm, it's more annoying for him. Void going to come out, Lucent Beam to follow up, and that is going to be a dead Vortex. The Stormhammer going to be used there onto this Viper, who's taking a lot of damage. The Lucent Beam to follow up secondly, and that is going to be 2 kills going in the favor of Machine.
And that's kind of what they wanted, because if you have a look at it, the 2 of them were way far beyond the river, obviously top, thinking that they could just free farm. There's no wards up, and I would have to say that it was from Aesir's side. It was kind of more of if they had a look at the bottom lane and obviously would have seen that 2 of the heroes were gone. Maybe you could have done something about it. But now they're going to be pushing it beyond the tower. Vortex is not going to be able to get the illumination off, and he's obviously going to take a hell of a lot of damage. Yeah, the blinding light actually that actually helped them kill him. I guess it was dead anyway. It didn't matter what he was going to do. I guess with the blinding light, he was hoping to get lucky with the missed chances, but obviously that was not the case here. With the 3 heroes obviously hitting him, I mean, you can only play Lady Luck that many times.
The strength is going to be used.
He's going to be silenced up. No, that won't be a silence up from.
So
Minty.
he's going to try and move out. They do not have the ult there from the Bloodseeker, so they will just look to back out. They don't get the kill on the Morphling. You're not gonna kill the Morphling anytime soon, and it's annoying because you spend so many heroes rotating that, and you still don't get the kill. And he's gonna get farm. He's gonna be the one that's annoying. He's gonna just burst down 1 Meepo at a time, or 1 Meepo the whole time. Silence is gonna be used. Poof. There's no net. There's the net on the second one. However, the Inkswell was used as well. Looks like he will just be able to get out. And it is going to be Soul falling for this, as the Morphling does. Morphling actually picks up Soul, and he's looking for more. Vortex does go down by Machine, and that is Meepo dropping very low. Meepo going to fall down. Now it is going to be Bloodseeker looking to fight. Morphling moving a bit into the strength. Just wants to get enough life in order to move in. There is going to be the Stroke of Fate used now. Silence up actually onto the Luna. You're just going to fall for free because there's nothing else you can do. Another silence now going out onto this Bloodseeker. He has to destroy that spirit, and he will fall along with an Inkswell and a lot of damage from the Morphling.
And that's a hell of a lot of gold that Captain Anarchy obviously gets to his disposal. I mean, he already has the power treads up, and Pat actually going to look to see if he can get Lady Anarchy here. Captain Anarchy is obviously also still on very low HP. He does the agility swap. He doesn't have any mana here. One more net should kill him if he gets the net off, but I guess no.
He does have the attribute shift the whole time, so you can net him as much as you want.
I guess that was more of a bait attempt.
No, he switched to boots. So he switched to boots to agility so that he can move it to so he can gain the life again, and so forth. So they are moving on to this Viper. We'll just back out. There's only 1 point in corrosive skin there. They do have the Viper strike, and that is a level 6 Viper versus your level 5 Bloodseeker. So your Bloodseeker did a full rotation, didn't have the ult, does only have the Blood Rage the whole time and the Blood Right, and you're not getting pickoffs with him. So he's not getting his level 6 as soon as he wanted it. It's already 10 minutes in. This is the rotation period for most.
They've already been rotating quite a lot. The thing is, when they did the rotations, they were dominating a few of the lanes, and California was bottom lane, just getting a bit of farm, basically getting the scraps as he can. And Kobeef going to take a hell of a lot of damage. Panda going to be able to get the Stormhammer off. Blinding Light was not used there. Blinding Light was used, yeah. And at this moment, obviously, they're still not able to get the lockdown.
The Void is
Machine
up.
is still going to be able to get Kobeef, and Vortex taking a hell of a lot of damage. Actually, the Lucent Beam from Soul going to be able to pick... Well, Machine was still able to pick him up there, but the Lucent Beam, two points into it is more than enough just to make sure that they get the secure on that. Warding coming out from Lady Anarchy, and might get... Nope, Iggswell going to be used there, and Panda's going to come in. Stormbolt's going to be used. Machine doesn't have any mana for the silence though, but he is going to have a few right clicks there, but it is daytime, so he doesn't do enough damage. Soul is on very low HP. Lady Anarchy going to fall here, as Warcry was used there on this Panda, but Captain Anarchy is still in the game here. He is taking a lot of damage. He's not going to be able... He does get the swap on the attributes, and that's Machine taking a lot of damage. They get the kill here. That's going to be huge on this side. 466 gold going in the way of Kobeef, and Pandov being forced to go back. Obviously...
But the ulti is coming out. Pangolier, the swashbuckle to follow up probably soon.
Is he going to be able to get it? Because that'll be a huge slow if he does get it on Panda, and it is what they're going to be using. He does miss on the swashbuckle. Luna is going to be able to use the Lucent Beam. Is it going to be enough to get him down? Nope. So they will net, and it seems more like Team Bacon obviously just wants to get out of this fight as far as they can, and Aesir is being able to pick up quite a lot there, especially on the side of on the death of Machine.
Actually missing the first net, but it does close the gap on the net worth like they needed to. But the problem is the Bloodseeker got a lot of farm there. So while the team fights were still going in your favor, very heavy pickoffs, especially that 5-kill streak onto the Night Stalker. Night Stalker was already quite a bit far ahead. I'm not saying obviously you leave him, but it means that the Bloodseeker was able to get a lot of farm now. So gonna be annoying. They are fighting around their nighttime as well. It is gonna be 15 seconds until the Dark Ascension is up again, and Rupture actually coming out for this Bloodseeker. So the next team fights could be a lot more dangerous. Sanj and Yasha actually queued up
For him, that's obviously to be able to get the more pickups. They're trying to play aggressive here, because I don't think any of these teams really know how the late game's going to go, because they all have very good late game heroes. But it's more of, we don't want to leave it to chance. We want to see how many pickups we can get before this goes to a point where we start to struggle to gain control rather than not having any control at all.
They are going to get rooted up. He is moving on to trying to move on to Anarchy. He does need to get the silence off, but the attribute shift is there, and now Lady Anarchy going to move in with the silence, but you have too much movement speed on the Night Stalker. He has the phase boots. He did use the Dark Ascension to make it nighttime. Actually tried to get the pick off, but now bottom lane, the Viper actually tried to TP out, and he will just fall down.
Great stuns coming in here from Banda, like we mentioned the previous game with Minty playing on the Sven, and the stuns were quite on point. I do have to say Sven is making it very difficult for...
He's contributing a lot in these teams as a support player, so...
And it seems like they're going to lose the bottom tier 1.
Yeah,
the
they're
side of
already
Aesir.
fortified. There is going to be the stroke of fate now used. The Bloodseeker actually moving in. The Morphling actually moving in on the Bloodseeker. There is going to be Pangea ult used as well. They are pinging out the Sven. They want to get the Sven because of the Stormhammer. So Luna actually going to fall there now. Warcry was used. Anarchy looking to drop very low. The Meepo moves in as well. The first net is there. The second net is there. The poofs are there as well. And that's going to be a dead Pongalia. Now they just need to get this Morphling who is in the attribute shift. He does get netted up. Actually, the Blinding Light's going to be there. The Nether Toxin is actually there as well. And they get the kill.
They do get the kill, but the body blocks that were there, it was beautiful how they were able to just lock the people into the enemy into place. And at this point, it seems like there's a huge turnaround. As obviously Machine's taking a hell of a lot of damage. He's going to get stunned up from the ink spell. He's going to get silenced. He's going to TP out. Is it going to be enough to get him down? Minty's also going to be forced to go back. He has no mana. He raptures down, and obviously
he does get the Morphling, so it's a 6 kill streak.
That's quite a big deficit as well.
So Grimstroke, the only hero that that's not level 6 in terms of the crucial ults that they need when they start fighting, and naturally the Keeper of the Light as well. But the Keeper of Light will, wow, he's actually farther behind than the Grimstroke. So
the fact that he also doesn't have any brown boots up makes his movement speed a difference, obviously, as soon as they initiate on him, or as soon as they go on him, which was a good display there on the bottom lane.
Well, what I wanted to mention is you've got the Eclipse, and you've got nothing else from the rest. So Lady Anarchy actually falling. This is them going to be pushing the mid lane. They're trying to take out this ward. There is going to be the silence out, and they're rooted up, as well as this Viper. Morphling is silenced up. They are looking to go onto him. There is no rupture going out just yet. Not enough mana anyway, and he is going to look to move on to the Pangalia. The ulti does come out from this Keeper of the Light now, Night Stalker. He does get the first bash off. Can he get another one? If he gets another one, this could be it. The Captain Anarchy actually going into the attribute shift. Has to move back, pushing them under the tower. Captain Anarchy dropping very low, and he will fall. However, Machine will pay for his life, but that is Vortex actually going down as well. So 4 heroes dead for the side of Aesir, and Clan Bacon coming out on top. I'm not too sure, but I mean, your Bloodseeker is the one that needs to stay alive. He did take out the rest of the team. Had he ruptured the Morphling a bit early in the fight, it probably would have ended a lot earlier.
Well, the thing is, the point that really made a difference was as soon as
Soulbind coming out, now they are looking to get the stun on Bloodseeker as well. The Inkswell is going to be used on the Viper, but it's not going to connect onto anyone. Minty dropping very low, has to back out. Is walking in the Nether Toxin though, so he has to move in a different direction. Viper is going to fall. The Pangalia ult's going to hit onto 3 of the Meepos. One more Swashbuckle is going to be enough, and that is the death of the Meepo for the death of the Viper. Now they're looking to move on to Soul. They do get their Stroke of Fate, and it is going to be just one more cannon from the Morphling, enough to get the kill.
And that's exactly what you obviously didn't want after having what seemed like a bit of an advantage coming from the side of Bacon in the previous fight, and just basically not exactly what you were looking for. I mean, the previous time they had the... Are they actually going to defend here? The silence does come out. Swashbuckle comes in. Still, Banda does stun up the Morphling. Are they? We won't be able to get him. Obviously, he has the attribute shift up, but he doesn't get silenced by the Blood Right.
Attribute shift is almost at max. He is silenced.
And they do eventually get him down. That's Captain Anarchy. That's the Morphling down. California looking to take revenge for him. And he does get stunned up inside the Rapture, so he will be Raptured. He is silenced up. He is able to move a bit faster, but Minty, is just on such huge... movement speed that he's able to get him down. Inkspell's not going to be enough to stun him up, and that'll be a double kill for a triple kill for the side of Minty, and even Machine's able to get the kill down on Kobe. So Lady Anarchy and your
Vortex
obviously.
Vortex wasn't part of that fight, and I think that Aesir are kicking themselves now, thinking that had they had the Illuminate along with the Will-O-Wisp in the fight, it probably would have turned out way different, because
definitely
just
the
keeping the
Blinding
Morphling, yeah. Well, firstly, yeah, the Blinding Light, very, very good mention, but being able to Will-O-Wisp whoever's gonna stun you as a Morphling is probably what benefits you most. So BKB gonna be the next thing for the Night Stalker. Want to be able to take out all of the defensive abilities for the side of Aesir.
It's just the lockdown that they have. I mean, once you're at the back line, you don't want anything stopping your momentum. He does get Inkspelled up, and he is a bit far behind the tower. Will-O-Wisp going to be dedicated here. Captain Anarchy putting up a few right clicks on the machine, and the Illuminate does get used. Blinding Light, Rapture gets used. Lucent Beam is also being used, and that'll be two teammates dead. Captain Anarchy and obviously California on that side, and Lady Anarchy is going to be next to fall, so that's 4 heroes down from the side of Aesir, and that'll be a tier 2 coming from a tier 1, just a normal tier 1 attack, and then falling at your tier 2 tower, and then obviously Bacon being able to pick up on the tier 2 with 4 buybacks here. I guess they do buyback to be able to defend this top tier 3. They do use the glyph, and it doesn't seem like anybody's going to buy back. Obviously, Pongolier is going to be back up. Kobe is going to be back up. And California back up at the moment. But that's only a Pongolier, a Grimstroke, and a Viper. They do need the Morphling to be able to take this fight. If they get another net on the Blood Right, that might be it for them. Blinding Light is going to be used here. They are falling very low because of the... oh, wow, that's actually going to be a death on the...
on the Meepo. He wasn't able to get the poof off, so you're not able to back out of that team fight. So the Luna is trying to move out now, will be silenced up, and they will just take down the Spirit. Pangolier actually coming in with the ultimate, is trying to get anything done here. Morphling does use the face shift, does use the adaptive strike, and he is able to get a kill onto the Luna. Now the ulti coming out from this Night Stalker. The Morphling is going to be able to pick up more, but Vortex is able to kill off Minty. And now Night Stalker, Machine actually falling down as well. So you kind of messed up the back. Okay, so they should have just taken this and then moved back. You would have had a better... Just feed them the Luna. Give them the Luna and back out. They were doing way too much damage to the Meepo. The Meepo positioning was 100% fine, but then as soon as the one started taking damage, it was sort of like he just swapped them out a bit instead of moving him way more out of the team fight. But it is going to be Sven picking up the Guardian's Greaves after this Blink Dagger, so you know, the Meepo should be fine for the most part after this. And then the Meepo, he's building into his own cannon, his own shotgun.
I'd have to say they should have backed as soon as the Morphling was back up, because there were 2 seconds left on him while the Pongolier and the Viper and the Grimstroke
once the harassment started,
so they were able to do enough damage where it was just one cannon move on the Morphling, which would have been enough. And Lady Anarchy going to take a lot of damage here. She is able to Inkspell up, and that's actually going to be the Meepo falling down for that. It was a huge gank, obviously, keeping him from taking down Lady Anarchy, the Grimstroke. And another kill for Captain Anarchy.
Captain Anarchy is going to be the most annoying, right? 10 and 6 now. He's not the one you want to be playing against when you're going late game. The Bloodseeker's not going to be enough. Sven's not going to be enough with support items. Luna's on a support role as well. Night Stalker could do it with the bashes and the moving into the Abyssal Blade, but you'd have to burst him down in that time. Now Machine actually trying to move back. The Stroke of Fate gonna miss him. California actually pinging out where he is. The Silence gonna be used. He's not gonna be able to get the Vortex off, and he is not attacking as fast as he wanted to because it's not nighttime. He does pop the nighttime, but
not only that,
it was also too late.
He was also slowed by the Nether Toxin, and I mean, if it's not daytime, you're in Nether Toxin. Do you really dedicate the ult there to death? Is it because
I think he wanted to use it to escape, because he could just fly over the trees and go where, no Morphling's ever gone before. But you still had that waveform along with the adaptive strike.
And then, taking it from there, after he used the BKB and he obviously didn't have his TP scroll up as well. I guess it would rather have been Valiant to just take the death, but it's not that big of a difference, I guess, because it's just him down, and then Aesir from there. Obviously,
still have to back because, or still don't have a huge advantage because Bacon is still controlling most of the map. I mean, they've already got so many, all the tier 2s basically down.
You're still on a 14k net worth deficit, but if the Morphling's allowed to fight in the team fight, it doesn't matter what you have the whole time because he will just burst down everyone every single time. He will be moving into the agility a bit faster, so as soon as the first stun comes out, if you can get that Lunar Eclipse off, if you can get the fear, the crippling fear off like the Night Stalker does now, the Inkswell is going to be used. Will they commit the waveform? No, they won't. They will just back out. They're not falling for this bait. Night Stalker's ult is still down, so they will just take Aegis of the Immortal.
This will be the part where they go for the tier 2 bottom, the last tier 2 that they need, I guess. It's not so much about taking the high ground at the moment. I'd say it's more about taking the map advantage.
And they're moving towards 2 Abyssal Blades. They're building 2 Abyssal Blades.
2 Abyssal Blades should be fine with as long as you obviously have to, because
you have to focus. One's going to be on the Pangolier the whole time, and the other one's going to be on whoever's closest.
Well, at this stage, I'd say
and then just bashing. Right-clicking the Morphling afterwards. You're going to lose a Luna, you're going to lose a Sven, and then...
So, one Abyssal Blade goes onto the Morphling, you're able to stun him down. After that, you get the Blood right down. He's unable to use any of his abilities. After that, there's still the net that you could use, or the stun from Sven, just to be able to make sure that you clear him down. That might be enough, but I mean, the Aether Blade obviously going to come out from an Anarchy soon.
The Ethereal Blade's the one thing, like, he's building Ethereal Blade and then Lincoln's. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be more of you focus, you try and get the Grimstroke or the Keeper of the Light with the first one and just like right click whatever is there down, and then after that move on to, you have to focus one on the Pangolier. So the Sven will probably go on the Pangolier or the Night Stalker because of the Crippling Fear, and then after that you stun up one of the supports. You get the good team fight, and then you both have the bash chance with the right clicks. So the Morphling's still going to go down if he's facing against 2 heroes that have bash chance. You don't need to waste it on a hero that has Lincoln Sphere.
They are able to pick down the tier 2 at the bottom, and it seems like they're going to be going for the tier 3 here. They do dedicate the Nether Toxin just to be able to keep the wave back, but for how long will that work?
Are you going for the Agnum Scepter after this Guardian Greaves on Sven? Right?
Yes, I would have to say
how insane would it be on that Night Stalker and the Bloodseeker? So that would be a very good pickup. The stun Blink is coming in. The stun, they are going to go onto this Pangolier, one of the heroes they wanted to get out first, but the Link is going to be there. They do use the ult. The net is going to be able to keep this Viper in place. BKB coming out as well, but this Meepo is taking way too much damage. Stroke of Fate going to be used as well. Sven dropping now very low, standing in the Nether Toxin. He will go down. Now the Bloodseeker dropping low next. The second silence is there. Night Stalker is in the backline doing whatever he wants to, but the Adaptive Strike is going to be used on the Bloodseeker. They will break this Aegis of the Immortal, and it is going to be 2 buybacks. But it pays off in the end.
Well, they did do a bit of damage on the tier 3, but I would have to say it was the 2 buybacks for almost a full team and 1 Aegis. Minty being the only one that comes off of that fight, but that's obviously what you want. So it's still not a horrible situation, but I would have at least wanted to take down the tower for the amount of bodies that you spent. Machine was there in the background trying to kill off Lady Anarchy, and I'm not too sure if he was successful on it, but the fact that Captain Anarchy then was not forced, but kind of went for Bloodseeker, went for Minty at that stage just to be able to get that down was kind of what you were looking for.
Lady Anarchy moving in. They do get the Spirit off for the silence. Will use the Inkswell now. Does use the ult as well to bind them together. Luna dropping very low. The Adaptive Strike's going to be enough, and that is going to be a dead Meepo for it as well. Captain Anarchy, the blink forward from the Sven, but he will get stunned up. Has to use the ult now, but he gets stunned up by his own Stormbolt because the Morphling going into the Sven form and
stunning him up with his own Stormbolt. Not only that,
and using the Warcry.
The Aether Blade coming out and obviously being able to kill up the Ethereal Blade and being able to kill up the Meepo was exactly what they needed, because now you have the Adaptive Strike that's extra, and the Adaptive Strike obviously is what he used there to stun up Sven as well, and then take over the Sven clone and then stun him up with his own Stormbolt. And I mean, once you have that much utility with the amount of damage that you have on California and on Captain Anarchy, which is the Morphling and the Viper, it's going to be hard for Bacon to even have one Warcry up for it. I mean, yes, they do have the mech, which is able to keep them alive for a little while longer, but I mean, you're delaying the inevitable at that stage. So I don't know. I'm not too sure if they go for the Pipe of Insight here or if they go for the Crimson Guard to be able to survive the heavy damage or to be able to survive the magic damage. The Illuminate was obviously didn't do that much damage, so you're not looking for the amount of magic damage that they were doing.
I think it was more of the way they pushed the fight, because they already had the 2 pickoffs. Your Luna's too squishy still. Your Sven's not helping a lot. He does, even if he does get everything off. After that, the Bloodseeker dropping very low quite early. It's the Grimstroke. So they did take out the Pangolier. Pangolier buying back after that, and then this Grimstroke's just doing way too much. And as soon as the team fight starts, just this Phantom's Embrace.
Yeah, the Phantom's Embrace. The Inkspeller was used there obviously to stun up the rest of the heroes while Captain Anarchy was making his way into the team fight that was happening there just off the mid lane. And really making good use of the Inkswell just to sort of have a weird initiation, I guess, but more of a, this is where we're going to catch you. This is the tricky part, because now there's no...
You keep counter initiating with the Soulbind and getting the Inkswell and the Phantom's Embrace, and after that you got the Stroke of Fate just slowing them down, making sure they can't really reposition the way they want to in a team fight.
As soon as the Soulbind was up on Meepo and on the Luna, you saw that the Ethereal Blade was being used by by the Morphling, Captain Anarchy, and that fell onto the Meepo and onto the Luna, which was able to do a hell of a lot of damage to the Meepo firstly, and then obviously kill off the Luna, and then one little wave form through them was enough to obviously secure the kill. And that Adaptive Strike and Ethereal Blade being used, they're trying to keep Pat at the back foot.
There's going to be the Eclipse actually coming out. The Grimstroke is dropping low. He is silenced up. This Night Stalker is going for it. Wants to get the Void off, but the Pipe of Insight is going to be used on both teams. So the Bloodseeker can now come in. He is going for the Cartel, but Night Stalker, as Captain Anarchy is stunned up. He is going to be silenced up if he doesn't waveform out. He does waveform out, and that is going to be 2 heroes dead, but they do get the top barracks for it. Now California actually going in for more. He does have the Pipe of Insight on himself. The Blinding Light going to come out, and Night Stalker, you're a bit slow the whole time. Crippling Fear going to be used. The Void is going to be used as well. They are looking to maybe get the pick off onto Vortex, but he will just back out as the Viper actually moves a different route.
He is ratcheted up.
It's going to be ruptured, but it is going to be a big kill. They get Minty as well.
So they do get the Bloodseeker. Blinding Light was used on him, and Vortex was able to survive for a while. Machine's going to take the Adaptive Strike and 2 right clicks from Captain Anarchy, and that's enough to secure the kill on the Night Stalker as well. Meanwhile, Pat's obviously pushing down in the mid lane, trying to see if he can get any form of racks or any damage onto the mid tower. Inkswell going to be used. Phantom's Embrace is going to be used. There's going to be one Meepo that's still going to be left out. Pangolier is obviously going to use the Swashbuckle to see if they can
get him here. He's silenced up again, and the Adaptive Strike's there.
Ethereal Blade was enough to kill him there, and quite unfortunate for Pat.
That's the.
She thought all the Meepos were out, and in the meantime, there was just the one.
Well,
that was
he was silenced up. So that's the annoying thing of playing against this Grimstroke. You're playing against Grimstroke the whole time. If you're Meepo, it's annoying. You can't get your poofs off. If you're Night Stalker, you can't get your Crippling Fear off. If you're Sven, you can't get your God Strength off. If you're Bloodseeker, you can't get the Rupture. If you're Luna, you can't get the Eclipse. So whatever this Grimstroke's targeting, and that is why he was banned out mostly. I don't think people understand that the Soulbind is a nice thing, going with the Lion, going with the Stormbolt, going with even his own silence, the Phantom's Embrace, but just being able to silence anyone for that duration is enough.
Not only that, it's obviously the fact that he's the slow that comes out from the Stroke of Fate as well,
which he throws down. I mean, as soon as you're slowed up, it's a huge annoyance, especially when you're a melee hero and you can't get away, you can't attack, you can't do anything. And I guess it's a lack of BKBs on the side of Bacon as well. If they have a bit more, then they are obviously able to get a few more, a bit more survivability out. But the BKB is obviously on the Bloodseeker.
Added on the Bloodseeker and the Night Stalker, so it's not too annoying for them. This Roshan will spawn up quick, and I think they need the Shiva's the Eye of Skadi finished on the Meepo. Almost said Shiva's Guard there, but the Shiva's Guard will probably come eventually as well. Able to blink in Shiva's Guard, Ethereal Blades, punch people to death, poof them to death at least. So, and the Crimson Guard coming out for the Sven, I think he needs to prioritize maybe more the Assault Cuirass, because of the agility for the Bloodseeker along with the Night Stalker, and you have that right click on them with the Abyssal Blades, and you know, being able to stun up the Morphling the whole time. That's probably what they needed a bit more of, but they do prioritize the Crimson Guard for the fact of the armor, that it gives a lot of protection. You have the Warcry with you as well, so it does make sense, but I feel like if you're going for the offensive, which is what you need to close out this game, the Assault Curse would have made a bit more sense.
I'd have to agree that on for a pushing perspective, that'll be quite good for them. Not too sure if a Mjolnir or two will help them to push in the lanes, but I feel like if you've already got a GG boost, you've already got a Warcry, and it's not enough to keep your team alive, I would have to say they could go for a utility item as well, maybe a Yule Scepter or something that's just able to lock down one hero on the side of Aesir, just to be able to have that. If there's initiation from Aesir's side, they're obviously able to lock down the Morphling a bit more, and they're able to get down maybe whoever they need, Kobe, Vortex, whoever they're able to get their hands on, and then from there, if they can get one more other utility, which is a stun or a silence offer on Morphling, it's more where he can't move, and if they even get the
well, I mean, so Luna's building into the Agnum Scepter as well, right? That's the team fight item that you need, where Luna can actually stand back a bit and doesn't need to be part of the team fight in front in order to maximize her ulti. So you have the 24 extra primary attributes, and then she's standing in the back of team fights, you know, right clicking just here at the back, making sure that she can do a bit of damage with the claves, but better yet, she's able to throw the ult in the middle of the team fight, and as long as you guys are fighting in that ult, it's enough for her to bring a lot more to this game.
We'll have a pause out there. Soul having a bit of a lag issue, and we should resume that shortly as soon as that's fixed, obviously. But
so the Eye of Skadi is also almost done. If Meepo has Eye of Skadi,
he has.
What does he bring it? How do you?
The stats wise, he's harder to kill and everything like that. So it's more of a point where Meepo's kind of sorted on his own, especially obviously with the fact that he has the Ages of Immortal. So you don't worry too much about the Meepo now being a problem in the team if you lose the team fights. You kind of have a look more for what else might be going wrong. What else do you need? If it's not the BKBs, it'll be... I actually do think that the Crimson... not the Crimson Guard, the Shiva's Guard is what they could be going for, because that means Morphling's not
actually
able
moving
to right
to the Pipe of Insight. Pipe of Insight being the Nether Toxin counter, being the bit of Grimstroke's damage counter, a bit of Kotl. Kotl's not going to do any damage now with his Illuminate. So you're countering the magic damage, giving away the rest of the damage, the physical damage, hoping that you don't need to worry about someone getting picked off.
Well, I guess they're not too worried about the Illuminate. The Illuminate here is just to keep them off of the team fights. That's going to be Soulbind being used. That's going to be Silent Inkswell coming up on the side of Machine. Machine does have the BKB up. Banglair's going to use his ulti there. Swashbuckle also going to be used. And that's going to be a huge ulti on the side of the Kotl, being able to get the whole team there. And obviously they get the Ages off of on the Meepo, but the way that the side of Bacon is falling, because that's Machine that was going down as if he was nothing. It looked more like he was a cheese sandwich being cut in half.
You have to fight like this when you're Clan Bacon now, because you're gonna get picked off the whole time. The way that silence was used on the Luna, and then the Morphling just moves in, adaptive strikes, and boom, you're eliminated. There's no ult, just Agnum Scepter just yet on the Luna. So, yeah, if you're gonna get picked off like that, it's pretty annoying for any support in that position. I have Scotty being queued up next for the Morphling as well. So, how do you, as a Luna, you just need to finish the Agnum Scepter and then you start fighting, right? I mean, you're not doing anything. The Bloodseeker not being able to use the Rupture on the Morphling is also annoying. But what if you use it on the Pongalia? You need to start prioritizing different heroes to use different abilities on, because it's no longer, it's about getting the pick off on the utility support, which is the Grimstroke, and other than that, it's about getting these tanky heroes or getting those heroes that are doing a lot of damage down. And you're not going to do it with the Morphling first off. You kind of have to deal with him like you do with a Timbersaw, only this Timbersaw is hitting hard.
Yeah. And the Timbersaw is obviously not taking a lot of damage, which is the same thing that is happening with Morphling as soon as he does the stat switch. If he even does that, it seems more of it's an option now for him, where previously at the start of the match it was an essential thing that he needed to get to level 2 as soon as possible to stay alive. And when you're in that sort of position where the Morphling's just able to free roam within your team fights and just being able to get into the back line, doing whatever he needs to, doing whatever he wants to, essentially is it's troublesome. And
you move from a 14k net worth lead when pushing up high ground, I think it was at 15k when they started, to only 10k off of the big team fights. You can't afford to have that happen again.
Definitely not. The Abyssal Blade is on Night Stalker up and running. He does have the Assault Cuirass.
So he's going
next
for the Assault Cuirass, okay.
So, which is exactly what we said. He might need that. But then Panda, if he's able to get up the Pipe of Insight. So let's play out this scenario. Let's say bottom lane moved differently. They did have the Pipe of Insight up on Panda. What changes?
So the Nether Toxin's not doing, or the Viper's the Viper's strike is not doing a lot more damage. He's not ticking down as much as he'd like, and the Nether Toxin's also not doing a lot of damage. But obviously, Nether Toxin is more famous for the amount of magic resistance it reduces, especially later in the game. So the adaptive strike on someone who's taking 20% more damage is pretty decent. So that is why the Pipe of Insight's also there to counter a bit of that, where the adaptive strike comes in, so someone doesn't get knocked down immediately.
And they don't get bursted down, which is what was happening. Trying to push in the top laners. Obviously they have the top racks up. So maybe they're trying to apply pressure top so that they can
They're looking
see
for
if
a
they can
pick-off,
do
right?
a bit more mid.
Down bottom lane. It's going to be stunned up. The Abyssal Blade used as well. This Viper's pretty much down. The Crippling Fear is there. Meepo going to poof in as well. And that is him falling down. California and Vortex actually going to be taken down. Now, Pangalia has to move back. He does use the ult for it. The BKB is there as well. We'll use the Swashbuckle on the mid lane, on the top lane. But it is mid lane that they have to defend, as this Barracks is just melting down.
And that's what a Luna does best. Lunas are they made to destroy bases, and that'll be Silence coming out on Pangalia. So Kobe's might be able to go him down here. Yes, they do, because of the fact that they netted him up, but he just wasn't able to move, and that's going to be a full set of racks on the side of Bacon. Such a huge pushback. I mean, they literally had the Morphling, and then the Morphling was just worth nothing when he was on his own. Panda's going to be able to get a stun here. Lincoln's going to be used. Inkswell up.
The Adaptive Strike.
And the Ethereal Blade actually being pushed here. He does morph into the Bloodseeker, but now he's going to be raptured up. He's going to be forced back to the fountain, going back, and he's unable to basically defend this. And this is
Pangalia buying back now. He does use the Swashbuckle in. He is going to look to turn this around. Panda actually dropping down low. They will get the Sven, but it is Minty going for the last hit on the throne, and that is going to be GG to Clan Bacon. The way they killed that Morphling the first time, I went full Owen Wilson on that. That was, wow.
It was amazing to watch at the end, especially when they got the split push, which we talked about, and they pushed in the top lane. They were able to get 2 kills up on the mid lane, which was Vortex and California. And it was more of a sense where they wanted to take, or it looked like they just want to take the mid racks and then just leave it from there. But then obviously Machine and Pat at the bottom lane being able to kill up the Morphling and being able to seal the deal on the bottom racks, and then they just go for the throne straight was the last, obviously.
Yeah, that was game number 2 here for the ELSA Cup. This was Aesir versus Clan Bacon. I hope you guys had a very good night. We certainly enjoyed it very much, and hope we'll be bringing you guys some more Dota tomorrow night, so you guys can join us. We actually have a link up on Liquipedia, so you guys can go check out the rest there. It is going to be the whole week full of ELSA Cup, so we hope to see you guys here every week, and hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Good night.